teams in right to the Superdome, including the defending state champion in University High. When you look at stars offensively, first of all, for Oak Grove, the Tigers have a very fine sophomore quarterback. He's 6'3". You'll see a lot of them here this season. His name is Jason Martin, and he has a very good arm. From a running back standpoint, they have Ty Durrell, a converted nose guard who also plays defense. And when Durrell was moved to running back, this team immediately took off offensively, and they've been riding high ever since. Haynesville under Alton Red Franklin, well, as we mentioned, this is a traditional power. They are here for the third consecutive year, the fifth time in the decade, and they feature a very fine running back in number 21, Shannon Harris. We'll be watching him very closely. He was well over 1,000 yards on the season, and he figures to be the primary ball carrier for that team this evening. Joining me now is Bob Pavlovich. Bob will be handling sideline interviews tonight during the course of the game, as well as our halftime and post-game festivities. And, Bob, it should be a great scene here this evening.
It should be, Kenny. We have a pair of teams that seem to be pretty evenly matched. They both started a little slow, but finished their seasons at 11-3. And speaking of halftime, we'll be talking with representatives of the Coaches Association, the Athletic Directors, and the Principals Association. All of those people, including the players and coaches you'll see here tonight, have all taken part in bringing the Gatorade Classic to you.
And you'll be working up quite a sweat, roaming each sideline, keeping us updated during the course of the game.
Updated on injuries and anything that's exciting that's going to happen out here, and there's going to be a lot going on.
All right, Bob, Haynesville and Oak Grove, the single-A state championship game. And when we come back in just a moment, we'll talk with both coaches, Big Dalrymple and Alton Red Franklin. Don't go away. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic.
You got a thirst. You know what you need. Fluids and minerals fast. Energy for hard-working muscles. Nothing better. Give me some of that Gatorade.
Heard about Shoetown's women's fashion sale? Stylish vests, $10.99. Colorful sweaters, $12.99. You better take off for Shoetown.
Heard about Shoetown's 30% off sale? 30% off all men's sweaters. Men's Bugle Boy, 30% off. You better take off for Shoetown.
Heard about Shoetown's fleecewear sale? Crew tops or pants, $7. Warm hooded tops, $9. You better take off for Shoetown.
Big Dalrymple, you've come a long way, and I know you had to go a tough path to get here. You beat the defending state champion a week ago.
Yes, we did. We had a real slow start this time. We had a bunch of young guys that had to come in and make players, and realistically going in, we felt like it'd take us 3 or 4 weeks to make a club, and as it worked out, we started showing signs, at just about that time. But last 4 or 5 weeks, we played about as good as we could play.
You did indeed lose 3 of your first 4, but it was against good competition, and it had to help you.
We think so. Looking back, we lost, 6. We lost 3 games by a total of 8 points. But I don't think, had we won those games, that we'd be where we were now. Because when you lose 3, the heat gets turned up real high, and it kind of makes a little more character in them, and they have to reach and get a little harder. So I think we're further along now than we would have been, had we come out with those 3.
In Haynesville, you're facing a team that's been here many times before. The experience factor has to be in their favor.
I think maybe so, but we're looking forward to it. We match up, well with these guys. They share the same philosophy that we do, and that's trying to hold on to the ball and play good defense. And we're looking forward to the matchup.
You do have a common opponent, Ouachita Christian. They played them twice, got by 1 point in the playoffs, and of course you met them as well and defeated them.
Right. It's hard to judge something like that. It varies from week to week. I think we just, instead of worrying about what they did those sets, we need to focus on what we can do with them and try to keep things in our favor along that line.
Well, Coach, you've come a long way, and I know you'd like to go home with something in your hands, a big trophy.
It's a big deal. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been 3 years since we've been down here, and we've had a lot of time to think about it, and we're ready to get something done this time.
Well, best of luck to you this evening.
Thank you.
Coach Big Dalrymple. And now let's go over to Bob Pavlovich with Coach Alton Franklin.
Thank you very much, Kenny. We're here with Coach Alton Red Franklin with the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. And, Coach, welcome to the Superdome.
Thank you. We're glad to be here.
What do you all expect from Oak Grove tonight?
Well, we expect a powerful running game, and then whenever that doesn't work for them, and hopefully it won't, then they're going to be throwing the ball to number 12, their wide receiver.
Both of your teams employ the wing tee offense. Does that make it a little bit easier in preparing?
Well, theirs is a different type of wing tee than ours. Theirs is more of a powerful game, and ours is built on a little more finesse, I guess you would say.
Any one particular player you can point to on Oak Grove's offense that you all have to watch out for?
I think it was their quarterback is the one that makes their offense go. He's a sophomore, big, strong youngster, and he does a super job. He's a good athlete.
You brought the 2A district champs here. Any special preparations for playing in the Superdome?
Not really. You know, it's just a ball game's a ball game, and we're just happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Again, that's Coach Red Franklin of the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. I'll be right back in just about a minute or so with more, so stay tuned. At Cox Cable Jefferson Parish, we're into sports. We carry Sunday night NFL football on ESPN. We cablecast semi-pro and high school football action. And we're very proud to be a sponsor of the 1989 Gatorade Superdome Classic. We encourage the pursuit of excellence on the field and in the classroom. Cox Cable salutes all the student athletes here tonight and throughout Louisiana. The High 10 Drug Education Program. It's in our high schools in the state of Louisiana, and here to talk to us about it is Jesse Barksdale, assistant strength coach with Tulane University. Jesse, why don't you introduce everybody to just what is the High 10 program?
The High 10 program began about 3 years ago, and it came from some mind joggling about with Commissioner Tommy Henry and Lynn Judy. They had decided that they were really worried about the high school athlete. You know, the drugs and everything that's being peddled, that's being put out on the streets, the steroid use and things like that that's getting into athletics. They were wanting coaches as well as athletes to be aware of this. In order to do this, they invented or brought about the High 10 Drug Awareness Program. And it's funded by our governor. He got some funds together, federal funds together, and was able to fund this. And through these funds, we're able to have speakers come out to the championship games, speak to various people. We have videotapes from everything from steroid use to alcohol abuse, everything and papers. We can send speakers to schools, these tapes and papers to the schools that they can utilize to try to aware their athletes how they can harm their body and how a lot of them are harming their body.
And to get the information into the schools and to the kids as young as possible.
There's no doubt about that. Bob, we have to reach out to our athletes and we have to let them know that there's more to this game than just the winning and losing aspect. It's playing after this game is over. How are we going to be? How are our bodies going to be? How are we going to react to life? Because that's what we want to do. We want to take this game and we want to teach them something about life.
Jesse, what's your involvement in the High 10 program?
Lynn has used me to not only to speak to various groups, but to also to bring in speakers to watch certain people, you know, to see speakers at various, you know, places around the state and to bring them in. I've been all over the country, the United States Olympic Training Center. I just got back from Nebraska, and I work with the National Strength Association very, very closely in these areas. And I'm able to see and meet a lot of people at various different classifications of life. And we'll bring them in and use them to relate these experiences to our kids.
Jesse, thanks for talking with us today.
Sure.
Jesse Barksdale, assistant strength coach at Tulane University, talking with us about the High 10 program with the Louisiana High School Athletic Association. Don't go away. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the kickoff of our game.
This is where Michael Jordan kept practicing his jump shot when he didn't make varsity. This is where George Brett kept fielding after his team lost the state finals.
Wildcat ball.
And this is where Walter Payton played every game his freshman year as a drummer in the marching band. What do these legends have in common? They've always had a will to win. And they've always had a Wilson. all the things you can teach your children. The most important is how to find their own answers. Just look at them and know they love you.
Ken Trahan, along with Henry Rando and our special guest Brad Edelman from the press box of the Superdome. The Superdome Classic, Gatorade Superdome Classic, and the Single-A State Championship game set to get underway. We're looking at the coin toss right now. Haynesville and Oak Grove. Haynesville in the white uniforms, and they have won the toss. And Haynesville has declared the option, and as a result, Oak Grove will have the choice, and they'll receive the football. Oak Grove in their black uniforms, black shirts, and black pants here this evening. Both teams with the same colors, interestingly enough. And Brad, when we look at these two teams, you've got one team with a lot of experience in the Superdome Classic in Haynesville. They've been here 5 times. Oak Grove has been here just once before, but they've been very impressive in getting here. They beat a couple of perennial powers in Southern Lab and University High to get here.
Well, the interesting thing, Ken, is to note that both of these teams started off very slowly during the season, and regardless of the experience they have and the cumulative years on each side of the ball, these clubs have overcome some early diversity, which is what you find sometimes unusual for young ball clubs.
Henry, I know you're very familiar with both teams. Haynesville, Alton Red Franklin, he seemingly has been there forever. He's won well over 200 games in his career.
Well, Kenny, he's a legend in Class A. Alton Franklin has a record of 215 wins, 55 losses, and 8 ties. His team has been here. This is the 5th time in the 80s that the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes will appear. And, of course, Big Dalrymple, he's not done a bad job over there at Oak Grove either. He's done a fine job. He's brought his team here and got beat in '86. And again, he's here tonight, this time to try to win the big one.
In fact, he's in his 9th year at Oak Grove, and he's done quite a job. When you analyze this game, it should be a very competitive contest. And Henry, if you have any edge, any way, I guess you'd have to give a slight edge to Oak Grove where talent is concerned.
Well, both teams are surprisingly are relatively young, but Oak Grove has an outstanding young quarterback in Jason Martin, a 6'3", 185-pound sophomore. Both teams will run a basic ring tee offense, will run a power-type offense, but I believe the difference tonight will probably be whether or not Jason Martin can outdo Scotty Hayes.
Well, the Oak Grove Tigers, the District 3A champion, coming in with a record of 11-3. And, of course, the Haynesville Gordon Tornado with the same record of 11-3. And they also were district champions, having won District 2A. So we got a couple of district champs, and we'll see in this Superdome Classic this year that we do have a couple of runner-ups that have made the round of 8, so to speak. And that in itself is interesting enough. And it proves that you don't have to be a champion to have a chance to make it here to the Superdome. Crowd continuing to file in. It's the Single-A State Championship game. And, of course, Brad, these two teams have come a long way to be here. It's quite a trip for Haynesville. In fact, they have to go through Arkansas and Mississippi just to get here.
I'm well aware of that, and I'm sure these fans are, all of those who've joined us this evening for the game. I tell you, it's interesting, though, that you have a good showing here from these towns. Maybe between 10 and 20,000 people in each of these cities. They've chosen to come down here to New Orleans. I think it's a good weekend away for a lot of these folks to come down here to play in the Superdome, and it's an opportunity for a lot of these youngsters to play on this turf field in this dome stadium here in New Orleans that otherwise they wouldn't have.
When you look at teams on this particular level, single A, you'll see a lot of two-way players. In fact, Welsh has 6 two-way players in the game we'll see next. Right now, we're going to pause as we honor America with our national anthem. two-way performers, Henry, when you talk about single-A football, you're going to find that there are quite a few of those on this particular level. And in fact, in this particular ball game, Haynesville has 5 two-way performers, and Oak Grove has 3. And that's not unusual, is it?
No, it's not, Ken, because when you look at these schools, the enrollment from Class A, the total enrollment of the school has got to be under 275 students. So when you look at both of these football teams represented by 40 to 45 players, you can see very easily where it's almost impossible to platoon. You're going to have to put your best guys both ways.
And indeed, we'll see a couple of good ones tonight playing both ways, most notably Don Robinson for Haynesville, and for Oak Grove, Ty Burrell, who's an outstanding running back as well as defensive linebacker for the Tigers of Oak Grove. Well, the Tigers are in the all-black uniforms here this evening. You're looking at them right now. They're black jerseys. And as we see Haynesville now, they're wearing the white jerseys. Both schools with the same colors, only distinguished by the color of jerseys here this evening. Both teams have run off some very impressive win streaks, as we mentioned, after losing 3 of the first 4. Oak Grove has rebounded with 10 consecutive victories. Haynesville, after losing their first 3 games, has won 11 straight games. And the officials for this evening's game: Bobby Galan, Buster Dunn, Malcolm Null, John Bradis, Billy Booth, Buddy Gingras, and Henry Rougeau. Brad, we want to take a look at the paths these teams took to get here to the Superdome this evening. And indeed, as far as Oak Grove is concerned, they had the tougher path of the 2 teams, as they had to defeat 2 perennial powers, 2 champions in the past, in Southern Lab and University High. And I don't think there's any question that they had the tougher path to get here.
Well, Kenny, that's something you look for in a club, certainly a young club like this, the ability to win those big games when it's necessary. You see that at all levels, and it's not often that you fall. Well, you're winning clubs such as these 2 represented here tonight are going to be the kind of teams that will make things happen when the big games are on the line. And evidently, that's the kind of game this is going to be. We're going to see which of these 2 clubs this evening can come up with the strength and the endurance to win this game out, because again, they're going to both be very similar offensively and defensively.
Number 84, James Reneker, will kick it off with the Tigers, and deep to receive for Haynesville will be Shannon Harris, their outstanding all-purpose running back, number 21. We're just about set to get underway. The Superdome Classic Class A State Championship. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman. Bob Pavlovich will be joining us with sideline reports during this one. So we're excited to have you with us, and we trust you're excited about these state championship games, which are just about to get underway, and we are indeed underway. Reneker hits it on the ground. It bounds at about the 35-yard line. He's fumbled there and then fallen on at about the 31-yard line. Now it's lost again, and who has it? Oak Grove has come up with a football on the opening kickoff. Ball bounced around. It was covered for a moment by a Haynesville player, number 11, David Harris, but then he lost it, and the Tigers come up with it, and what a way to start the football game for the Tigers.
Yeah, I want to bring this up since Brad is an offensive lineman. We were talking about this prior to the game, that Oak Grove will start 3 freshmen in their offensive line. And Brad, how hard is that to really have a guy come in here, ninth grade? And we'll talk about that in a second. Go ahead, Ken.
All right, Jason Martin on first down gives it straight ahead, diving to about the 26-yard line. A gain of about 5 yards with the football. There's number 33, Jason Mathis, the running back at 6 feet, 194 pounds, and a senior and the captain. A 5-yard gain for the Tigers. It'll be second down at 5 from the Haynesville 26.
You know, you talk about that offensive line. It's interesting to see that they're a very young line, as you mentioned. Well, let's take a look at how they come off the ball here. We'll talk about them throughout the game.
On second down at 5 yards to go, they give it to Earl Smith. He finds running room. First down and more inside the 20 and down to about the 15-yard line. Earl Smith, the flanker, wingback, if you will, has it deep in the Haynesville territory. Josh Dissotel finally making the stop, but not before. First down, Tigers.
Again, that's the first time we've seen the wing T run here. They ran a buck sweep, fake to the fullback up the middle and giving to the tailback Smith off tackle for an important first down in the ball game.
Again, the split backs behind the quarterback, Jason Martin, the 6'3 sophomore, who gives it straight ahead this time to Kai Burrell. Burrell inside the 15 to about the 13, maybe the 12-yard line. Burrell, the outstanding two-way performer, and what a fine college prospect he is at 6'3", 230 pounds, and a senior.
Well, I think really Oak Grove, you can look at that as possibly the biggest move Coach Dalrymple has made this season, and that is he took Burrell from his offensive line position as a guard and moved him to the fullback position at 6'3", 230 pounds.
Earl Smith is wide left on second down, and 7 yards to go, and the give to Burrell once again. This time he is hit, and he will be dropped as he nudges it inside the 10, close to the 9-yard line. Tough going there. 53, Charles Jackson on the stop.
Kenny, it appeared as though there was some good room on the outside of that offensive line to the left. Good blocking again up front. The back, as we see in the replay here, decides to take it outside and is brought down by the outside right side of that defensive line. And good gang tackling going on there. Looks like this team's ready to play.
All right, and our first time out of the game, the Tigers have called timeout with 9:57 to play in the first quarter. The Gatorade Superdome Classic, and our score, Oak Grove nothing, Haynesville nothing. We'll be back right after this.
All right. I'm Dan Wilson. Public libraries are my business, and frankly, I don't know what our libraries would do without people like Connie Danos and his fellow owners of Avondale Shipyard, who are donating their hard-earned profits to build world-class community resources.
Using the right tools to build ships that always give an exceptional performance, even under fighting conditions, is exciting stuff. The stuff good books are made of. At Avondale, we get a special thrill knowing the company we own wrote the book on high-performance ships. Speaking of books, a lot of us grew up without many. We're making up for it now, thanks to our libraries. Through our donations, Avondale is helping our libraries get the right tools to stimulate the best performance by developing young minds. What tools? Books.
Avondale is investing in our city's future. Why don't you?
Losing track of my thoughts here.
9:57 to play, first quarter. No score, but Oak Grove on the move. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman. And Oak Grove with a crucial 3rd and 4 from the Haynesville 10-yard line. Again, Smith is wide left. Mathis and Burrell behind Martin, and he gives it straight ahead to Burrell, and he stopped short of the first down. Got it just inside the 8-yard line, but he needed to get to the 6th, and an interesting decision forthcoming for Coach Vic Dalrymple.
Well, Ken, as you see on the replay, all they did there was it's just a straight dive, counter movement by the quarterback, number 10, Jason Martin, who is a fine-looking specimen at 6'3", 188-pound sophomore. And again, they're running behind two freshmen, Richie Allen, number 52, and Matt Fortenberry, number 50.
The two-way performer, T. Don White at linebacker, making the stop. It's 4th down, 2 yards to go. Oak Grove will go for it here. And they try to run the option, and he is stopped for a loss. He did not make it. The quarterback, Jason Martin, tripped up, and Haynesville is held following the turnover, and they get it on downs at their own 7-yard line.
Just a fine job again by the right side of the defensive line, Ken. I don't know if that ball was fumbled or if it was knocked out. We'll see here in the replay. The fake to the fullback coming through is tripped. The ball is evidently stripped by Charlie Boyd. And a big break with the team, with the Oak Grove team going in to score, potentially.
Well, Haynesville doing a great job defensively, holding inside their 10 on downs, and they take over for the first time offensively from their own 8-yard line. And on first down, he's in the open field. Shannon Harris to the 20, gets a great block at the 30, 35, and knocked out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Shannon Harris, the brilliant sophomore at 6 feet, 185 pounds, who rushed for 1,227 yards and 13 touchdowns in the regular season, showing us why.
Well, we're going to see the replay here, and a great block by number 60, the offensive guard, Josh Desautels, and he just flattens the secondary cornerback and really does an outstanding job. As you see, Brad, that's the way you're supposed to do it, I believe.
Henry, as an offensive lineman, you love to watch that play over and over the next day in replay. I guarantee it.
From the 38-yard line on first down, straight ahead, and this time nothing there. As the Oak Grove defense is equal to the task. Some of the more pleasant sights on hand. Willie Kimball, the ball carrier this time. Kimball, the 5'9", 165-pound junior who rushed for 803 yards and 12 touchdowns, but this time he has no room. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, one of the things Coach Franklin mentioned prior to this game is that their type of wing tee is more of a finesse type of wing tee, so you're going to see a little bit more faking out of Hayes than you would out of Martin.
The counter play, Shannon Harris, and he's loose again. 45 midfield, and he is dragged down, and a flag is down. We may have a face mask. And Haynesville has a 1st down in Oak Grove territory as Shannon Harris again finds running room off the right side.
Kenny, with a penalty tacked onto this play, this is an impressive beginning drive by the Haynesville team. Here the replay. A nice cut at the inside, taking the ball all the way to the outside. See the face mask there and hurling him out of bounds. But a nice block, on the line of scrimmage by Barry Mitchell.
That will be a 1st down.
And you heard the face mask indication, a 5-yard penalty in this instance. It places the football at the Oak Grove 39-yard line with 8:17 to play 1st quarter. No score, but Haynesville on the move after they held defensively inside their 10-yard line. Scotty Hayes, the quarterback, 5'9", 140 pounds, and the junior with Harris and Kimball behind him. On 1st down, straight ahead, and this is Kimball to the 36 and then driven back. And a good job by number 11, Dean Jackson, along with the strong safety, Jason Martin, playing both ways for Oak Grove.
And we have a late flag thrown in the secondary. And the preliminary single looks like face mask again. Well, that was thrown by the back judge.
Some of the X's and O's being drawn up offensively on the Tigers sideline.
It's very familiar. Of course, those face masking penalties are usually inadvertent, as I'm sure they are in this case. Unfortunate, though, however, for the defense, with Haynesville mounting a substantial drive here, they're setting themselves in a bit of a hole with the extra yardage tagged on by the penalty.
And we'll repeat the down as well, so in essence, we'll have a 1st down and 3 situation here for the Golden Tornado, or the Tours, if you will. It's a little bit easier to say.
That is.
On the 31-yard line, again, Scotty Hayes in that low crouch at quarterback. Gives to Shannon Harris, and this time Harris hit in the backfield, and he'll be dropped. Penetration by Jason Mathis, 33, along with David Anderson up from his cornerback spot. And Henry, I guess that's something you're going to see. They'll come up and force quickly after giving up some big plays.
Well, I think this is something that they definitely worked on Oak Grove, because it's the first time that Haynesville came out with an end over, an unbalanced line, and as a result of that, they rolled the corner up on the line of scrimmage and got penetration. And Jason Mathis, who's a fine outside linebacker, was the guy that made that tackle as a result of that penetration.
The 38-yard line, 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Straight ahead to about the 33-yard line is Shannon Harris. Harris for about 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Again here, a quick motion replay, but evidently a lot of room over the right side of that offensive line. And this Oak Grove offensive line, this Haynesville offensive line has a good deal of experience from both tackle to tackle. The right side, 71 Charlie Boyd and 68 Michael Jackson.
On 3rd down and 5 from the 34-yard line. They give it to the wingman, Don Robinson. Robinson to about the 30, short of a 1st down. He is lacking a yard. And I would think this is 4-down territory. It'll be about a 4th and 1 situation as Earl Smith from free safety to make the stop as we look at Vic Dalrymple quickly. No hesitation here. They will go.
Right. And it's interesting to see now that both teams have had one possession, and both of them have gone for a 1st down on 4th down. Both of them have gotten the ball into 4-down territory.
On 4th down. About a yard and a half to go. Straight ahead, and he didn't make it. He is short. Hit at the 30-yard line and dropped. And Shannon Harris, and Oak Grove has come up with its own defensive stand, and they take over on downs.
Well, it just wasn't just, as you see, Brad, it just was just a straight little dive play right over the right side of the line. And defensively, out of the 4-3, Jimmy Hill, Kai Burrell, and Scotty Hayes just stacked it up.
Looked like Jimmy Hill was there first and got to the legs of the back. Excellent play, and again we have the ball turning hands. Out to about the 30-yard line now. It's the Oak Grove Tigers with the ball, and the handoff over the right side of the line of scrimmage.
To about the 32-yard line, a couple, and that's all. Lots of traffic this time as the Haynesville defense is equal to the task. The ball carrier was number 24, David Anderson, also playing both ways, and we'll see this one again.
Again, just a little counteraction with both guards pulling. Chris Turner and Matt Fortenberry, both of these guys do an excellent job of getting out in front of the ball carrier.
Pick up of 3 yards officially. It'll be 2nd down and 7 from the 33-yard line. Play fake by Martin, wants to throw, and to the sideline, incomplete, intended for the tight end Josh Bradley. Pass was overthrown. Martin, a sophomore, great size at 6'3", and he has a good arm as well, watching him in practice yesterday, but a little bit too strong that time. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Seems as though he had plenty of time, Kenny. Threw it just a little bit over the intended receiver, but there was some room there inside of that defensive zone.
5:13 to play in the first quarter. No score. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman. Bob Pavlovich roaming the sidelines. We'll check in with him soon. From the end zone, Jason Martin under center. The quarterback with split backs behind him. Quick snap off the play fake. Wants to throw to the sideline and incomplete as he overshot Earl Smith. Smith was in the seam of the zone, but again, the pass off the mark and a punting situation for the Tigers.
So it's just a little sideline route by Smith, number 12. And I really believe Jason Martin is just rushing his passes just a little bit, and that could be, you know, just nervousness. He's just a sophomore, but an outstanding player, as young as he is.
Martin will kick it away, and he hits a beautiful kick. Ron Robinson back to his 23-yard line. Robinson going right to the 25, stops in at the 30 and down at about the 31-yard line. Haynesville will take over from that point with 4:56 to play in the first quarter.
Henry, we talked a little bit earlier about the officials. Officiating now being done by members of this staff who are from a neutral part of the state.
That's correct. What happens is, Brad, is because both of these teams, one uses a Shreveport association, the other one uses a Monroe group. They usually go to a neutral association, usually somewhere from South Louisiana, probably Alexandria or Baton Rouge.
On first down, Hayes and a hole for Shannon Harris. He's in the secondary across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. Before he's tripped up, otherwise he would have been gone. A gain of 17 yards and a first down for Haynesville, and they've been able to establish their big gun, Shannon Harris.
Well, you're going to see right now that Shane Harris makes a good cut right there off the block of the weak side tackle, Barry Mitchell, getting downfield. And Brad, that's one of the interesting things is how important it is for an offensive lineman to get downfield.
I'll let Kenny go ahead and do the play-by-play on this before we start.
This is Kimball, about a yard to the 48. It'll be 2nd down and 9 in the arms of Gerald Glass with help from Kai Burrell.
Henry, having an offensive lineman who not only blocks at the line of scrimmage but hustles down the field, and having more than one, if you're lucky you have 5 good ones who do that consistently makes a tremendous difference. As you'll see on the replay here, we'll see how these guys are hustling. Most of them, a couple of them have their players on the ground, and they're making the outstanding blocks for some good gang tackling by the defense there. But if you can have guys to get downfield with that extra effort, you're in real good shape.
On 2nd down and 9 yards to go. And we'll have a little procedure penalty here. This will work against Haynesville. There's a little movement on the offensive line. Brad, this is something I know you'll appreciate. On the high school level, they do not call the numbers out.
That's very nice, Kenny. Well, you know, at the pro level, it's a pleasure for me because that's the only time I get any publicity. You notice I do that quite often throughout the year. Sometimes reprimanded for it.
Well, let's listen here.
Ball start by the offense. The down did not count. Still 2nd down.
So the 5-yard penalty. We should mention that, Brad, you haven't had the opportunity to have any called against you or make any crushing blocks pulling lately because of an injury, and I know you're just chomping at the bit to get back.
It's frustrating, Kenny. I hope to be back sometime in the very near future, but in the meantime, I'm enjoying this game here.
And it's good to have you with us on 2nd down and 14 yards to go. A counter play across the 45 to about the 47-yard line is Willie Kimball. And Kimball gets back the penalty yardage, but it'll still be third down and about 11 yards to go. 3:25 and counting here in the first quarter.
Kenny, the Oak Grove defense, good amount of enthusiasm down there. These guys are going to have to be fired up, as Haynesville started out strong in this game, driving down the field initially and coming up short on 4th down, and mounting again another good drive.
From the 46-yard line, Hayes, the quarterback. We'll see if he puts it up here. Will not. He gives it to Harris. Harris trying to get outside and will. He's at midfield. He's at the 45. Knocked out of bounds close to his first down, but I think he's about a yard or two short inside the 45-yard line in Oak Grove territory. Just ran out of room there, but we see the speed of Shannon Harris.
Well, you're going to see a counter right here, and a real nice job there by number 21, Shane Harris, off the trap of Charlie Bard, number 71. Bard is a fine pulling guard, a 5'11", 181-pound junior, who really leads most of the traps and rips for this Haynesville Tornado team.
Punting situation, and Don Robinson will handle those chores, standing at about his own 42-yard line. Hits it high and wobbly and toward the sideline, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked at about the 17-yard line. Let's see. Well, they'll make it the 19-yard line. Okay. Always like the way the officials kind of just slowly walk up the sideline when those things go out of bounds in the air by about 15 yards. Their guess is as good as mine, or is it the other way around?
Well, you never know where they're going to stop. You always hope that they keep walking toward you or keep walking away from you if you're the kicking team, of course, or stop.
You always wonder, you wonder if it depends on what kind of mood they're in or what, you know? 2:50 to play first quarter, 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line for Oak Grove. This is Martin. He'll keep 20, 25. Stays in bounds and gets his first down across the 30, and a nice little move by Jason Martin. Most quarterbacks would look for the sideline in a hurry. He indicated that and then changed his mind and cut it back in to get his first down.
Well, it's a run all the way. You see him put the ball over his head to keep the secondary and the cornerbacks back to respect the pass. Martin is a load to bring down, though. Like I said, he's 6'3", 180-pound sophomore. So, you know, he's not a little bitty guy, and he's certainly not afraid to take a lick.
If you admire a quarterback like that who'll stick it in there and gain the extra yardage for his ball club.
Mathis, the lone setback. Kai Burrell in the slot. Martin, the quarterback, on first down. And they give to Mathis with some running room. Breaks the tackle. Bucking in there hard. Well, he really put the wood to a linebacker in there and drives to about the 38-yard line. A pickup of 7 yards. And it'll be 2nd down and 3. The nose guard, Jerome Gilmore, finally making the stop.
Kenny, that was an outstanding play. You'll see the two fine blocks here by the left side of the offensive line. Emory Kennedy, 71 and 73. Chris Turner came over right in front of the back with a good deal of timing on that play. Laid the blocks down that sprung the back for a good gain.
A gain of 8 officially. 2nd down and 2 yards to go from the 39-yard line. And the inside trap, breaking a tackle. Earl Smith, first down, runs over a tackler. He's into Haynesville territory to about the 48-yard line. Earl Smith at 5'6", 135 pounds, running a lot bigger on that play.
Well, just the inside reverse to Smith from his wingback spot. You're going to see him here. Here he is, getting the ball again. Nice block by 73 Kenny, but he just lures the ball on Larry Taylor. They're like, welcome to the NFL.
Yes, indeed. And that scores ahead for another 3 or 4 yards. Nice gain on that play.
In the Haynesville territory, 48-yard line. First down, 10 Tigers. This is Burrell across the 45 and dragging a tackler to the 42-yard line, using all 230 pounds to carry Charlie Boyd for an extra yard or 2. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Of course, now, Henry, if you're an Oak Grove fan, you're enjoying the surge of that offensive line over the last 30 or 40 yards. They've really made a lot of headway, and they've put some good-sized holes in that defensive line. Something they did early in the game, but was stopped short on the 4th down play near the goal line.
Well, Brad, neither one of these teams are really doing anything fancy. They're running very basic offense. They've each tried to throw the ball one time.
42-yard line, 2nd down, 4 yards to go. This is Mathis, close to a first down. He appears to have it at about the 38-yard line. Charlie Boyd on the bottom of the pile with help from Charles Jackson, some of the fans on hand. made the long trip, and they're enjoying themselves, and we'll see it again.
As you see, number 33, Jason Mathis, barreling ahead for a gain of about 5 yards there and picking up the first down. Testing again the right side of that Haynesville defensive line who have done a good job, respectable job this far throughout the game.
Clock winding down, 40 seconds to play first quarter. Good look at Jason Martin, the sophomore. Flags are down as he keeps it straight ahead to about the 35-yard line, but I believe this one will come back. And stops the clock with 36 seconds to play in the quarter. The Louisiana Superdome, what a marvelous facility it is. And we'll mark this one off, 5 yards against the Tigers.
A dead ball foul, illegal snap,
the days with
offense,
in the Superdome,
first down.
Kind of a grinded-out offense. As we mentioned, we were going to see a conservative game coming in offensively, and that's what these two teams have been doing, back and forth down the field. We're going to see who can endure the most defensively, and that offensive club who is the strongest will probably endure this afternoon.
On first down, Martin throwing. Smith caught inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line. Perfect throw and a good job by Earl Smith of holding on after taking the hit. And Oak Grove has it first and 10 at the Haynesville 22.
Well, you're going to see right here counter action by number 10, Jason Martin, and he hit Smith right over the middle, dragging. And number 1, it's catchback time. Larry Tell comes back and puts a lick on Smith and says, you know, hi, guy, you remember me?
It's a Tell with a telling blow, huh?
That's it. I'll guarantee you.
Clock winding down. This could be the last play of the quarter, 10 seconds and counting. Oak Grove with a threat at the 22-yard line. On the keeper, this is Martin. He gets a great block. He's outside 15 and dragged out of bounds right there at the 15-yard line with 1 second to play in the quarter. Jason Martin, an angular one, not blessed with tremendous speed, but a little bit quicker than you think.
Well, I thought it was an interesting blocking scheme up front. What they did out of the split backs, you'll see it here. He faked the dive, and the guard pulled out, kind of ripped out on the end, and allowed Martin to bounce outside and pick up, well, at least about 6-7 yards here.
Scott Reeder on the stop. This will be the final play of the quarter. And 3 receivers to the right side here, and rolling that way is Martin on second down. Gets a great block. He'll go forward. He'll get a first down inside the 10 and down to about the 5-yard line as the first quarter comes to a close. Goes Jason Martin and Oak Grove with a definite threat as our first quarter comes to a close. It's the Superdome Gatorade Classic, and at the end of 1 quarter in the Class A state championship game, our score, the Oak Grove Tigers nothing and the Tours of Haynesville nothing. We'll be back with our second quarter of action right after this.
Who's my favorite sports guy? That's easy. It's my dad. He gets up early every morning to run. He works hard at winning all day long. But I miss him a lot. But it all pays off on Saturday night.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Dad. Good game.
Thanks. I really missed you.
Dad, are we still going to Piccadilly tomorrow?
Of course, son.
Who was the first flyer to solo around the world? Wally Post. Who made the first computer? It was Remington Rand. Who is the first lady of beauty colleges? Jocelyn Daspit. Isn't it funny that the first names in success aren't always the names we think of first? Jocelyn Daspit has graduated thousands of successful cosmetologists since 1959. If you're thinking of a career in cosmetology, the first and only name is Jocelyn Daspit Beauty Colleges.
Performance here. Yes, Dennis has balanced precariously for minutes now. How do you think he does it? Must be the shoes. All-Stars.
All-Stars, all you need.
Why did you choose Holy Cross College?
The faculty at Holy Cross is interested in the students as individuals, and I like the caring, comfortable atmosphere.
I'm a business major. Employers look for well-rounded individuals. And Holy Cross believes in educating the heart as well as the mind.
Because I want to teach, I wanted a college with a proven program in education. Our Lady of Holy Cross has been educating teachers since 1916.
Our Lady of Holy Cross College is now accepting applications for the spring semester.
The second quarter of the Gatorade Superdome Classic Single A Championship is brought to you by Gatorade, the official athletic thirst quencher of the LHSAA, by Shoetown, headquarters for name brand athletic footwear, and by Louisiana Power and Light, LP&L and Energy Company, partners LP&L and you, and by Avondale. Avondale's investing in your city's future. Why don't you?
All right, the second quarter of action set to begin. First and goal from the 5-yard line for the Oak Grove Tigers. On first down, they give it to Mathis. Mathis dives to about the 3-yard line, where it'll be second down and goal. 68, Michael Jackson, leading the charge defensively, the sophomore.
There's a straight power play there with the fullback leading, but a nice play by the defensive end, coming down and really taking on the ball carrier. Kenny, for the stats in the first half for Oak Grove, they've rushed the ball 12 carries for 84 yards, and Haynesville has 9 carries for 92 yards.
So the running game's dominating thus far, but Oak Grove threatening to break the ice on second down. Martin hit, dives forward, close to the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Oak Grove. Jason Martin stretching it out with his 6'3" frame after a little collision in the backfield, and the Tigers take a 6-0 lead with 11:18 to play second quarter.
You see the end of the play there, Kenny. It looked as though Jason Martin had run into one of his running backs inadvertently, of course, but had enough, what do I want to say about him? Had enough...
well, he had enough momentum going forward.
Thank you.
Had enough
He got in the end zone for a touchdown.
But really, there was kind of penetration there that caused that kind of a stumble. There it is again, but he's a big boy.
And the extra point attempt by Keith Ainsworth is perfect. So a timeout on the field with 11:18 to play in the first quarter with our score. The Tigers of Oak Grove 7, the Tours of Haynesville 0. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic, and we'll be back right after this.
Ho, 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 ho. Popeyes has a holiday package just for you. 10 pieces of Popeyes' own chicken with all the trimmings for only $9.99. 10 tasty pieces of chicken, 4 hot buttermilk biscuits, and a big helping of Popeyes' savory Cajun rice. After all, 'tis the season to be giving. So treat your family to Popeyes' chicken and trimmings for only $9.99. You'll love that chicken from Popeyes. Ho, 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 ho.
Once, there were a few proud men of adventure, men of courage, men who knew the meaning of honor. There still are the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
The 11:18 to play, second quarter. It's 7-0 Tigers. Here's the kick bounding on the ground once again, and this time wisely they'll fall on it at the 28-yard line. Brad, a very impressive drive.
Yeah, Kenny, that was a nice drive by Oak Grove, culminated by a touchdown run of 10 yards by Martin at the end, but took 3 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock, totaled 9 plays and 81 yards.
All right, now let's go down to the sideline and a report from Bob Pavlovich. Bob?
Kenny, that scoring drive by the Oak Grove Tigers was a little bit tougher. Why? Because they've had no field communication from their folks in the press box. They've had to do it the old-fashioned way by the coaches on the field.
Oh, an interesting situation there. On first down, a big hit. Penetration by Gerald Glass, number 72, a fumble, and Oak Grove recovers. Glass with the big hit, and the Tigers get it back with great field position.
Well, Joe Glass was just able to get penetration there. You're going to see right here, number 72, Glass gets penetration, and number 20, Willie Kimball, really never gets a handle on the ball. He never has an opportunity. Glass came in from his defensive tackle spot and just really put a good lick on him, and Oak Grove's in business again.
And Frank Williams, 53, comes up with a football for the Tigers at the Haynesville 28-yard line, and a chance for Oak Grove to open up a pretty good lead here in the second quarter. Mason Martin. This is Anderson across the 25 to about the 24-yard line. David Anderson, the two-way performer, another sophomore at 140 pounds. A pickup of about 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6.
Well, that was just a basic counter play again, and they're pulling both the guard and the tackle on that, almost like the counter tray, you know, the old Redskins play, Brad.
In the split backs, Burrell and Anderson behind the quarterback, Martin. Smith in the slot, and they give it to Smith. Smith to about the 22-yard line. A good job by David Harris, the inside linebacker, who was taking on the block of Emory Kennedy and making the tackle at the same time.
You know, you mentioned that pulling play, the play that utilizes both the backside pulls of the guards and tackles. As Earl Smith surges again here for another 4 or 5 yards, but that backside counter play allows that defense, if it's a fast-flowing defense, to overrun a lot of those plays. And you get two big-sized men, your backside guard and tackle, pulling with a lot of momentum onside, opening up big holes on the right, utilized extensively throughout the NFL now.
On third down and 4, and a big hole for Anderson. Straight ahead, first down as he dives to about the 15-yard line. A gaping hole opened on the right side, inside there, and they certainly caught the Golden Tornado by surprise.
Well, that's Chris Turner, and he's done a great job. You're going to see him right there, fans. Just opens the hole up the middle for Anderson, number 24. And just a really great job of the quick trap, a guard trap up the middle on that 6 defense. And that's what you want to do inside there. You want to split those guards apart and really be able to utilize inside.
On first down, Anderson on the pitch. Anderson still on his feet. Anderson fighting inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. T-Don White, the linebacker, finally making the stop, but a determined effort by David Anderson.
Well, again, they got in trips, and you're going to see here the quick pitch to Anderson. A great second effort by the young man. David Anderson, 24, really shows what he has to do here. He's come off the bench to play in the place of Jason Mathis, who limped off the field during the last drive.
Gain of 6, second and 4, and now a timeout will be taken by the Tigers in this situation. A timeout with 8:57 to play, first half. And the Tigers leading the Golden Tornadoes 7-0. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic. We'll take a break here. We'll be back right after this.
Cable Jefferson Parish, we're into sports. We carry Sunday night NFL football on ESPN. We cablecast semi-pro and high school football action. And we're very proud to be a sponsor of the 1989 Gatorade Superdome Classic. We encourage the pursuit of excellence on the field and in the classroom. Cox Cable salutes all the student athletes here tonight and throughout Louisiana.
.57 to play, second quarter, 7-0 Oak Grove. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman. A second down and 4 situation. Ball resting on the 10-yard line. Oak Grove threatening to go up 2 scores here following the turnover. Burrell and Smith lined up in the setback positions. Mathis on the wing this time. And they give it to Smith, but they blow it dead. Flags are down, and again, this will likely be procedure against Oak Grove, and that will hurt.
That's crucial, Shanny. One of the things that we chart every week with the Saints is penalties inside the 20-yard line, both going out and going into the end zone.
This is one of the things you don't pay attention to during the Saints games, obviously. Those nice sights that we just saw on the sideline. You don't really get to notice those things.
You're right, Ken. I never looked to the sideline to see the Angels. Excuse me, I said the Angels. I mean the Saints. I don't know where that came from.
2nd and 9, 15-yard line. This is Martin rolling right, looking. Under pressure now. He'll keep. And he dives to about the 11-yard line. Jason Martin using his running ability here as he could find no one open, and Scott Reeder finally brings him down after a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 5 yards to go.
Another nice job of senior outside backer Charles Jackson forcing the play on the outside. Not quite able to bring Jason Martin down, but keeping him running to the sideline and keeping him from throwing that ball also.
On 3rd down and 5 yards to go from the 11-yard line. Again, Mathis in the slot left. They give it to Smith running left. Smith gets away from one man. He is down about the 5-yard line and appears to have a first down. Earl Smith brought down by Larry Tell, but he looks to have first down yardage and does. 1st and goal.
Earl Smith doing a nice job picking and choosing his holes here, making some yardage on his own, as you see a missed block by the fullback on that play, but able to get around that outside backer and pick up another 5 yards.
You know, Henry, we've seen Oak Grove call a couple of timeouts here in the first half when they had the football, and you wonder if that has anything to do, as we look at Coach Dalrymple, with the fact that they don't have communication upstairs.
Well, I definitely feel that that's a problem, because what's happening is that he's not getting any information. And Kenny, believe me, from experience, the worst seat in the house is on the sidelines. From a coach's standpoint, you can't see a thing, really. You may just kind of zero in on one thing, or maybe you're looking for a particular defensive kid or where he's lining up and that. But the overall picture is so much easier to see from up here.
1st down, goal to go from the 5-yard line. Martin. Durrell. And nothing there. Penetration by number 60, Josh Dissotel, from his tackle position. A 210-pound senior and two-way performer stops this one. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal.
And Henry, this is the part of the field where it is most difficult to pick up those yards, especially on the ground.
Well, you know, the field is shortened so much, Brad, that really it gets to the point now where they're playing an 8-man front. They're going to force you to go wide, or they're going to force you to throw into the flats here. I'm really looking for Martin to kind of do some type of counteraction and really sprint out with the football here.
Wide side of the field, the right side. On 2nd goal, they run short side with Smith. He cuts it in and scores. Earl Smith with a nice cut, and the Tigers lead it 13-0.
We're going to see right here, all it was just a power play to the left, and we're going to see now a really fine block by the fullback. Here you see it right there, and he's able to cut right inside, and you also see the tight end there, Big Josh Bradley, a 6'5", 190-pound freshman tight end, also sealing down and creating that alley there for Earl Smith to take it in.
Ainsworth for the extra point out of the hold of Dean Jackson, and this time it is good again. Timeout on the field. 7:02 to play. 2nd quarter from the Superdome. The Class A state championship, and Oak Grove leads the Golden Tornado 14-0. We'll be back with more of the Gatorade Superdome Classic right after this.
Players in this field tonight are striving to be champions. The trophies next to me represent that. In your life, you ought to strive to be a champion. And one of the things that you can do is stay away from drugs and alcohol. If you have a problem, seek help. If you don't have a problem, let me encourage you not to start. Drugs and alcohol are killers to our young people in our country today. Stay away from drugs and alcohol.
Heard about Shoetown's athletic shoe sale? 20% off all Nike. All LA gear, 20% off. You'd better take off for Shoetown.
Heard about Shoetown's women's fashion sale? Stylish vests, $10.99. Colorful sweaters, $12.99. You'd better take off for Shoetown.
Heard about Shoetown's 30% off sale? 30% off all men's sweaters. Men's Bugle Boy, 30% off. You better take off for Shoetown.
A good look at Earl Smith, who scored the touchdown. Now the kickoff ensuing, and Whitaker hits it, and it's going to bounce at about the 22-yard line. Gets past Shannon Harris. He'll chase it down at about his 4-yard line. He's in trouble. Harris trying to get back to the 10 and barely does. Across the 10 to the 11-yard line. And a very effective kick for Oak Grove in this situation. Ray Butler, 64 on the stop. 6:56 to play second quarter. 14-0 Tigers. And Brad, another good drive as we look at the replay here first, as Harris has trouble handling that one.
Kenny, another impressive drive on the ground by the Oak Grove Tigers. 28 yards total. Took up 4 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock, culminating with a 5-yard run by Smith for the touchdown.
Following the turnover, which they forced on first down here, to give to Shannon Harris, brought down in the backfield. Penetration once again. Oak Grove starting to assert themselves up front. And it'll be second down and long. And it looked like penetration there by Jason Mathis.
Well, that's right, Ken. Mathis comes from his outside linebacker position here, gets penetration. He's able to knock Shane Harris, the sophomore running back or tailback, for a big loss here of 4 yards. And now Haynesville is really, I think, in trouble here. But they've got to be able to move the football. If not, Oak Grove's going to come out of here again with good field position.
On second and 13 and a big hole this time. This is Shannon Harris fighting close to the 20. Stopped at about the 19. It'll be third down and about 2 yards to go.
Henry, Haynesville, they're doing precisely what you said they needed to do, and that's get out of that deep end of their field, give themselves a little breathing room, and be able to move the football now. Now Haynesville again having the more experienced offensive line, but it's very remarkable that that Oak Grove offensive line is doing a fine job with 3 freshmen in there.
Third down and 2 from the 19-yard line. Flags are down, and that's going to cost them 5 yards. And boy, a bad time for that on a conversion down, trailing by 14 in the second quarter.
Well, that's what you don't want to happen. As an offensive football team, you're playing a third and normal situation, and all of a sudden now you're in a third and long inside your 20-yard line, where the defense can more or less dictate what they want you to do here. And this is what I believe is the advantage to.
Ball start by the offense. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Referee right there, the false start. And what happens here now is, of course, is that the defense can now, I think, dictate to the offense and set up where they're going to force you to have to throw the football.
Which they don't. They give it to Shannon Harris, and he'll be short of the first down, brought down just short of the 20-yard line, lacking about 2 yards of a first down. And it'll be a punting situation for Haynesville. Obviously, they're just not inclined to throw the ball much, if at all, especially from deep in their own territory.
But you know, Kenny and Brad, it bothers me because what happens is when you're so conservative and all of a sudden you get 14 points down, okay, it's really tough to come back and to be able to put yourself in a position to go in at least at halftime the way you feel like you got a shot to come out the second half.
Precisely.
All right, a punting situation. Don Robinson to kick it away. Hit a great one earlier for Haynesville. Here comes the rush, and he barely gets it off. Drives it to Smith, 45-yard line. Trying to get outside. Smith and a host of white jerseys stopping him at the 46-yard line. Excellent field position nonetheless for the Tigers, who lead at 14-0 with 4:35 to play in the first half. You know, Brad, Henry mentioned the word conservative about a minute ago. I'm sure that's a word that you've heard enough of to last a lifetime, haven't you?
I'm sure that's a word that not only I have heard enough of, but our offensive staff and some of the other people in our club. You know, you mentioned in a situation like this, it's difficult to be conservative coming back. One of the most difficult situations as an offensive line or an offensive club is knowing that you have to throw the ball in order to get back on the scoreboard.
On first down, the counter, Anderson to about the 47-yard line, maybe a yard, and that's all. This time a good defensive play up front. Charge led by 68 Michael Jackson along with 63 Jerome Gilmore.
I wanted to get the play before that on the punt. I really wanted to give credit to the special teams. The coverage just now by Haynesville was outstanding on that punt. They got 7 guys down. They stayed in their lane. They did a nice job of keeping Smith within the boundaries, and they were able to bring him down.
On second and 9, Martin off the fake keeps himself, and he is upended in Haynesville territory at the 46-yard line by Don Robinson, the captain, playing both ways. And it'll be third down and about 2 as we look at some of the Tiger cheerleaders.
And Jason Martin, again, a good-sized young quarterback, not afraid to put his head down and run, picking up a lot of yards a day for this club. I think later on in his career, should he continue to be a quarterback, he's going to learn how to slide a little bit when he hits those defensive backs and linebackers. But right now, picking up excellent yardage for his club. And there on the quarterback sneak, taking it ahead for the first down. Good surge by the offensive line on that particular play, and that's something that this line has done successfully and continually throughout the first half.
Yeah, they've really taken control of things here, haven't they?
Yeah, they have, and they've been fortunate, the Oak Grove Tigers, in that they've had good field position, and it looks as though if the Haynesville club does not pick up some yards with their offense, get out of their own territory, that Oak Grove's going to continue to have field position throughout the half.
Clock ticking with 3:07 to play in the half. On first down, they run the inside counter with Smith inside the 40 to about the 37-yard line. Earl Smith, who scored earlier, has that outstanding speed.
Again, that's that inside counter, inside reverse that they run with the wing back where they pull the offside guard and tackle. And Turner and Kennedy really do a fine job of that. You know, of course, they're both seniors, they're both experienced players. And I think that's a mark of good coaching, is that they're asking their offensive or their experienced offensive linemen to do the most difficult things.
And today, these two young men doing the job and doing it very well.
Second down and 6 from the 37-yard line. Martin rolling, has room to run and will. 35, and goes out of bounds on his own this time, heeding Brad's advice. Short of a first down, however, and it'll be 3rd and 1. He must have heard you.
A bit atypical for him thus far in the game. I was expecting to see him barrel ahead for that first down yardage, but he decided again instead to take it out of bounds. They'll be 3rd down and about 2. This is the place you want to be as an offensive team. 3rd and 2, you have your choice, really.
Well, that's right. Now we're talking about the offense dictating what they want to do. They're in a position now where they could very possibly come back and make the first down or a 4th down because of the territory in which they're in, a 4-down situation.
And the give is to Smith running left. Smith is tripped up in the backfield, and let's see where they mark it. I don't think he's got it where they marked it, back at the 33-yard line. He's going to be short by 1.5 yards at that point. As his knee touched there, and it'll be 4th down, and I'm sure Oak Grove will go for it here on 4th down in less than 2 yards.
As you see, Kenny, that was a nice play, very nice play by number 12, Jerry Austin. Coming up, forcing the play, catching the running back, tripping him up for no gain at all.
All right, a timeout taken in this situation with 1:59 to play in the first half. We'll keep it right here with the Tigers leading the Golden Tornado 14-0. This is the 9th Superdome Classic, Henry, and I know you've had a chance to see quite a few of them over the years. And despite the fact that attendance hasn't quite been what the LHSAA would like, it has been a success, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, Ken. I think this is the best thing could happen to high school football. Prior to this game, Brad and I were talking about how many youngsters are going to have an opportunity to come in the Superdome and play in the Superdome. Some of these, maybe 80%, 90% of these guys will never have this opportunity again to come in here and play in a facility like this. Plus, as a former coach, it gives me a lot of pride because I believe that we have excellent football in the state of Louisiana as well as outstanding coaches and players. And I think this showcases the whole thing.
Well, Brad, I know you come from the state of Missouri. How does it compare to high school football there?
Well, high school football is big in the state of Missouri, but first of all, this particular event is substantial and I think a fine thing for football in Louisiana.
On 4th down and 1, conversion down. They want to throw off the play fake, and it is knocked away and incomplete. And the ball will go over on downs to Haynesville. They gambled a little bit trying to get it to Josh Bradley, but a fine job defensively by Larry Tell, who comes up and reads the play nicely and knocks it down.
You know, if Larry could have just held on to that ball, he might have scampered for would have been about an 80-yard touchdown.
Yes, it would have, no question. You're going to see it here. It's just a real nice toss here by Martin, but a great read by the corner, Larry Tell. He steps in front of the would-be receiver, and like you say, Brad, if he'd been able to hold on to the ball, he'd have been down the sidelines. He'd have put Haynesville back in this football game.
Yeah.
But a key defensive series nonetheless for Haynesville. Keeps them in it, trailing 14-0 with 1:54 to play in the half. Scotty Hayes off the play fake, wants to throw. Looks, stops, throws, and it's well overthrown. Ball just kind of came off the top of his hand and wobbled aimlessly in the air. Intended out there for T. Don White, but it was nowhere close. Coverage on the play from Dean Jackson.
Well, it's really, you know, what happens is when you live and die with the run, and then all of a sudden the defense is dictating that you have to throw the ball or do something that you ordinarily don't like to do. It puts a lot of pressure on you, and you got to look back maybe at the statistics as to how much Scotty Haynes has thrown in the previous ball games coming in here tonight.
Second down and 10 from the 33-yard line, and they give it to Shannon Harris. Harris across the 35, close to the 36-yard line, but well short of a first down, a pickup of about 3 yards. And Jason Mathis makes the stop, and the clock continues to run.
I see a nice block there by the offside offensive guard, Josh Dissatel, and utilizing a similar play, or play that's very similar to the ones used by the Oak Grove Tigers.
It'll be third down and 7 yards to go. Resting at the 41-yard line, just outside the 41, 3rd and 7. Minute 10 and counting, and they're taking their time here. Are the Tours? Hayes wants a timeout. He'll take one. A little bit confused there, wants to make sure. They had all 3 timeouts remaining, so they took one here with 1:04 to play in the half. And the Tigers continuing to lead by the score of 14-0. You know, guys, one of the things I thought was very interesting, entering the playoffs as we look at some of the fans on hand, in the single-A statewide rankings, the last poll taken prior to the playoffs, Oak Grove was not even in the top 10 in Class A entering the state playoffs. That's amazing.
Well, it is. You know, you kind of wonder sometimes, you know, how valid is that ranking. But when you look at it, you know, University was number 1, Washita Christian, Haynesville was number 3, Laurelville, St. Mary's, Ascension Catholic out of Donaldsonville, Southern Lab Catholic of Point Coupé, West St. John right up the road here, and South Cameron. So, like you said, Kenny, even though they were the district champions, they were the champions coming out of, I believe it was District 3, huh? Yes, District 3. And yet they're nowhere to be found in the top 10.
Off the play fake, Hayes throws, tipped and incomplete. Well, that one was dangerous. He tried to get it out of the backfield to Shannon Harris. Ball was tipped in the air. And then number 13, Tony Robinson, and number 11, Dean Jackson, took a look at it defensively. And it'll be 4th down in a punting situation with exactly 1 minute to play in the half.
Well, Kenny, that's that type of defensive or offensive pass deflection that those defensive backs lick their chops at. Boy, if they were just close enough to get underneath that ball, again, might have had a big turnover and put Oak Grove in a position to rack up some more points. As it is, they're going to get the ball back here.
Big rush. Robinson gets it off and hits it pretty good. Smith calls for the fair catch and takes it at his 31-yard line with 53 seconds remaining. Well, they've come hard after the last 2 punts, and they're getting closer.
Good field position again for the Oak Grove Tigers.
And Mathis is limping off the field with help. And we'll check on that if we possibly can a little bit later. He's a key player playing both ways and outstanding both ways, I might add.
You know, Henry, I'd be curious to see the time of possession for both of these clubs. I have to believe that thus far Oak Grove has a substantial lead in the time of possession as well.
I agree with you, Brad. I think, you know, there's no question about it that their offensive line has been the difference in this contest, and they're able to control the football.
From the 31-yard line on 1st down and 10 yards to go to about the 35-yard line. They'll just work on the clock in this situation as they give it to Anderson, and the clock will tick away. 40 seconds to play in the half. They'll have to run one more play.
See Anderson taking the ball. Good job blocking up front. A nice job by number 68, Michael Jackson, sophomore. Finally brought down by number 63, Jerome Gilmore.
This will be the last play of the half if they keep it on the ground, which we expect with 16 seconds and counting. 2nd down, and he wants to throw, Martin. And he'll go deep for Smith. It's in the air, and it's almost intercepted, knocked down at about the 42-yard line, and a fine job defensively by Scott Reeder, the cornerback and captain defensively, and it'll be 3rd down and 6.
And Henry, you see Scott pounding his helmet after that play.
Well, that's two now. That's two passing situations. You can see it here. Rita gets good position on the ball as well as the receiver, and he really should have just made the catch there. The ball just hit his hands. He dropped the ball.
And 3rd and 6 from the 35-yard line. See if they go back to the run here. And they will. They just eat up the clock as they give it to Kai Burrell straight ahead to about the 38-yard line. A couple, and that's all. I believe a timeout will be taken with 1 second left, and that is indeed the case. Haynesville has taken timeout with 1 second left in hopes of possibly blocking a kick, but I'd have to think they'll just run a play from scrimmage with 1 second left, Henry, despite the fact that it's 4th down.
Well, that's what he should do. All he's got to do is take the ball and step back, Kenny, and you know, take a knee here. Even though the clock does stop a change of possession, with 1 second remaining, there's no way Haynesville can get the ball, and you don't want to risk lining up for a punt and give Haynesville a chance to possibly block the punt.
So it's a 4th and 3 situation as the teams head to the sideline. I'm Ken Trahan along with Brad Edelman and Henry Rando from the press box of the Superdome, the Gatorade Superdome Classic 9. We're thrilled to have you with us. We trust you're enjoying this one. The single-A state championship game, 14-0 Tigers over the Golden Tornado with 1 second to play in the second quarter.
You know, Henry, it's going to be imperative that the Haynesville team comes out ready to play in the second half. And I think, as is indicated by the strength of the offense for Oak Grove, that they're going to have to put some points on the board early, which is needless to say, I'm sure. But they're going to have to come out and establish that momentum early. And with the conservative offense that they've been running, we're going to have to see something happen quickly and a lot of strength with that offense.
Now a whistle, and another timeout will be taken here by the Golden Tornado. Back-to-back in this situation with 1 second remaining. And you can see that Coach Dalrymple, indeed, Henry, had his team lined up to run a play from scrimmage to simply kneel on the ball and run the clock out. So,
well, you know, Kenny, that's the right thing to do. I mean, there's no way Coach Dalrymple is going to risk a 4th down punt and give Haynesville an opportunity to block the ball here. You know, had you had more time on the clock or something like that, then you'd have to wait the situation. But with 1 second, as soon as the ball is snapped, the clock is going to go on.
As we look at some of the halftime performers waiting to perform, Bob Pavlovich will be your host at halftime, coming up in just a few moments. And here we go again on 4th and 3. Jason Martin will give it away to Burrell. He'll find a little running room. The clock will expire as he gets it out to the 47-yard line, and the half is over. The Class A state championship game. We've finished one half of this ball game, and the Oak Grove Tigers are halfway to a state championship. They lead the Golden Tornado of Haynesville 14-0. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with Bob Pavlovich in our halftime show in just a moment. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic.
When there are large crowds, an increased risk of accident or sudden illness is there. Acadian Ambulance is there.
We believe in going that extra yard to help the communities we serve, like standing by at high school football games such as this one. The Cajun word is lanyap, something extra. Being here is part of the lanyap that goes with the Acadian Ambulance membership program. First aid training is another service we provide. It's a way of giving something back to the community.
Wherever there is a community need, we are there. Acadian Ambulance and their med service, a part of Louisiana.
Interscholastic activity programs are helping to build responsible citizens by teaching cooperation, respect for fair play, and hard work. Activity programs are an American tradition that survive because of communities that care.
Thank you for supporting the other half of education.
This is where Michael Jordan kept practicing his jump shot when he didn't make varsity. This is where George Brett kept fielding after his team lost the state finals.
Wildcat ball.
And this is where Walter Payton played every game his freshman year as a drummer in the marching band. What do these legends have in common? They've always had a will to win. And they've always had a Wilson.
my favorite sports guy? That's easy. It's my dad. He gets up early every morning to run. He works hard at winning all day long. But I miss him a lot. But it all pays off on Saturday night.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Dad. Good game.
Thanks. I really missed you.
Dad, are we still going to Piccadilly tomorrow?
Of course, son.
Heard about Shoetown's fleecewear sale? Crew tops or pants, $7. Warm hooded tops, $9. You'd better take off for Shoetown.
Class A championship game here from the Superdome, the Gatorade Superdome Classic, where right now the Tigers are over the Tornadoes 14-0. Hi, I'm Bob Pavlovich, and with me, Hank Steinbrecher, who's the marketing
Director of Sports Marketing for Quaker Oats.
Okay, and the Gatorade Superdome Classic, it's a really nice event. How did all this come together for Gatorade?
Well, it's a great event. Gatorade is, as you know, we're involved throughout the fabric of sport in the United States, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, NASCAR. We wanted to extend our equity down into the high schools, and the LHSAA is one of the best organized high school activities associations that we know of. We came in 5 years ago, negotiated a contract to get the Gatorade Superdome Classic off, bring the kids in throughout the state into the Dome to play off, and it's been a great program for everyone.
You all have plans to do this elsewhere around the country? It's such a large success here.
It started out as a test program in Louisiana, and we are now sponsoring North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, Florida, and Mississippi. However, everything that we're going to do is going to be focused through Louisiana in the high school market. We're going to test it here. So Tommy Henry and his crew do an outstanding job. We're very, very pleased with the work they've done.
You all are sponsoring the Superdome Football Classic here. Is Gatorade involved in any other kind of way in high school sports?
Yes, the Sweet 16 and the Final 24 here in Louisiana. We've had a caps-off program that we've run here previously. We're looking to expand it all the time. It's very good business for us, and we're happy to have to afford the opportunities for high school athletes to come in and participate. You know, with the way the budgets are now, it's really, really difficult to find funding. Louisiana's ahead of the game and looking for corporate sponsorship.
And, of course, let's go ahead and settle the idea right now. What about the future of the Gatorade Superdome Classic?
As long as I'm with Quaker Oats, longer than I'm with Quaker Oats, we'll continue doing it.
Thank you.
We've signed on for another 3 years, so we're very pleased.
Thanks for talking with us today, Mr. Hank Steinbrecher of Gatorade.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back with more of halftime and the festivities here at the Louisiana Superdome in the Gatorade Superdome Classic. Behind us right now, as I step out the way, you see the Golden Tornadoes Marching Band and their Spirit Club performing. Let's listen to a little bit of them.
Thanks, Bob.
Halftime here at the Gatorade Superdome Classic at the Louisiana Superdome, where the Oak Grove Tigers lead the Haynesville Tornadoes 14-0. We'll be back with more halftime festivities right after this.
It's fueled the victories of Super Bowl champions and Sandlot superstars. It's as welcome on a hot cinder track as a cold sheet of ice. It is unsurpassed at supplying fluids, minerals, and energy. It goes beyond refreshment. It produces results. It's everywhere athletes compete. It's sports. It's Gatorade.
We're witnessing a remarkable performance here.
Yes, Dennis has balanced precariously for minutes now.
How do you think he does it?
Must be the shoes. All-Stars.
All-Stars, all you need.
As Commissioner of the High School Athletic Association, we're extremely proud of our 70,000 student athletes and for their overall performance in the classroom. We're constantly emphasizing to them that they built the classrooms before they built the playing arenas, and that the education they receive in class must last a lifetime when compared to a cheer, which only lasts as long as it's heard. We know that 90% of our student athletes will graduate within the expected 4 years upon entering the 9th grade high schools. We also know that 90% of the high school dropouts were never involved in any school activity. Our student athletes are not dropouts. Instead, they remain in school, receive a formal education, and graduate on time. At the same time, they receive life-lasting values through participation in high school sports, and we're extremely proud of them. We consider our student athletes to be winners in the classroom and winners in the playing arena also.
Are leading the Haynesville Tornadoes. And with me right now is Ms. Evelyn Cruz Blanchard, who is the past president of the Louisiana High School Athletic Directors Association. You represent the athletic directors on the board, correct?
Right. I am the athletic director for Louisiana's representative on the executive committee for Louisiana High School Athletic Association.
Fine football game here tonight.
Absolutely. Always is a fine game, especially when you're inside.
And looking at this kind of event, I'm sure it's a big help for the schools, no matter what classification, this sort of incentive at the end of the year in football.
Not too often does a student get the chance to perform in a facility such as this, the Superdome, which is nationally known. And I think it's something that they can, memory that they'll take with them throughout their high school careers, as well as throughout their life. It's a wonderful experience for these young people.
We're also with us, besides Ms. Cruz Blanchard, is Mr. William Palmer, president of the Louisiana High School Principals Association. Mr. Palmer, have you observed any changes since the inception of the Gatorade Classic?
Oh, yes, a tremendous change because of the Gatorade sponsorship of the Superdome Classic. We're able to do a lot of things for our kids that we haven't been able to do in the past, and it's been a tremendous help.
You're principal of the school. How's it been going at your school as far as this incentive at the end of the rainbow, as it were, for your football team?
Well, it's been going fine. The students have all been very enthusiastic about it, and they know the value that Gatorade is to the Louisiana High School Athletic Association.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palmer. And joining us down here on the end is Mr. Butch Wax, past president of the Louisiana High School Coaches Association. And just your reaction to the game itself.
Well, it's just a tremendous thing. I think it'd be the highlight of any coach's career in high school. And in addition to that, I think it's the highlight of any player to have an opportunity to play in such an outstanding contest as this, in a facility like this. And it's just a dream come true for a lot of people, and it would be very nice to be here one day.
Some people have said in a team coming here for the first time to play in the Superdome, in the playoffs, that maybe it intimidates them a little bit. What do you think about that?
I'm sure it does. Most people don't have the opportunity to be around a facility like this, and just coming in and seeing what's involved and the makeup of it is just a tremendous sight to see, and a tremendous feeling to be here and be a part of something like this.
Thank you very much, Coach Wax. Mr. Palmer, Ms. Cruz Blanchard, thank you all very much for joining us here at halftime of the Louisiana Gatorade Superdome Classic. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Hank Tierney, head football coach at Shaw High School. Having coached for 12 years, I know how important high school athletics are in today's society. On behalf of about 70,000 student athletes in all of our member schools, we would like to thank Gatorade for its support of high school athletics, and in particular for its assistance in the Gatorade Superdome Classic.
go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. We like to be on their team. When the Saints go marching in.
We'd like to thank the New Orleans Saints Football Organization for their continuous support of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association and high school sports.
We're really excited about seeing which schools will be the state champions. We want to give all the teams in the playoffs a big cheer. Woo! And we want to salute all these good people for making the Gatorade Superdome Classic possible. The Louisiana High School Athletic Association wishes to thank these sponsors. Avondale Industries, Popeye's Famous Fried Chicken and Biscuits, Jocelyn Dotson Beauty Colleges, Holy Cross College, the U.S. Marines, Time Saver, the Fidelity Homestead Association, and the Metro Scan Traffic Network. And all the good folks at Gatorade and the Superdome. Woo!
Heard about Shoetown's athletic shoe sale? 20% off all Nike, all LA gear, 20% off. You'd better take off for Shoetown.
Nothing. The Tigers of Oak Grove on top of Haynesville. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman, who will be joining us in just a moment. Henry, this is a game that early on was hard fought. Haynesville established Shannon Harris in the early going, but then Oak Grove made some adjustments defensively and really shut down the Haynesville offense.
Well, Kenny, they really have, and of course then their own offense took over and did an outstanding job of controlling the ball as well as really stopping anything that Haynesville has tried to do offensively tonight.
On the other side of the ball, Oak Grove has had a lot of success offensively. They've really controlled the line of scrimmage, and they've run up some impressive totals running the football.
Well, that's right. Oak Grove has. They've hit 33 rushes for 162 yards compared to 17 rushes for Haynesville at 99 yards. Oak Grove also picked up 21 yards passing for a total of 183 yards. The time possession, which Brad alluded to earlier, Oak Grove has had 15 minutes and 2 seconds compared to Haynesville's 8 minutes and 58 seconds.
And we're set for the second half kickoff. Oak Grove will be receiving. And right now, let's go down to the sideline and Bob Pavlovich. Bob?
And I just need to tell you here that the third quarter of the Gatorade Superdome Classic is brought to you by Gatorade, the official thirst quencher of the LHSAA, Shoetown, headquarters for name brand athletic footwear, Louisiana Power and Lights, LP&L and Energy Company, partners, LP&L and you, and Avondale. Avondale is investing in your city's future. Why don't you?
And Earl Smith returns the kickoff of the Tigers to the 38-yard line, and that's where Oak Grove will put it in play, first and 10. 14-0 Tigers on top as we start the second half. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman. Tigers dominating in time of possession, as we alluded to earlier. Interestingly enough, guys, only one pass completed in the first half by either team, so this has not been an aerial war of any sort.
Well, Kenny, I don't believe we expected one, really, because both teams are very, very conservative on offense. They're both run-orientated. They're both going to run the wing tee. They're both going to control the football.
Jason Martin, the quarterback, hands to Anderson. He's in the secondary, but he has the ball stripped. And running it down and recovering it is Don Robinson. Robinson stripped it, and he recovers it. And Haynesville makes the big play, and they get it first and 10 from the Oak Grove 45-yard line. Well, and that's just what the doctor ordered, Brad.
Haynesville needed coming out here with Oak Grove on the ball throughout the first half. As you see, who am I looking at here?
Number 4, Don Robinson.
Don Robinson picking up the ball here, turning it around, turning the momentum around, hopefully for the Haynesville Golden Tornado. And on first down, gain of about 4.5, 5 yards.
This is Willie Kimball to about the 40-yard line. A pickup of close to 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Well, this is a big opportunity for the Tours, Brad.
Could be the shot in the arm that this club is needed. Now, they're going to have to take the ball down there and score, I think, to get back some confidence and also put those points on the board that they so desperately need with that control offense of Oak Grove.
11:20 and counting here. Third quarter just underway. 14-0 Tigers with a Golden Tornado have forced the turnover. And they're in Tiger territory at the 41-yard line. And they give it to the wingman. This is Robinson, the man who forced the turnover, to about the 37-yard line. Mathis was there defensively with help, and it'll be third down. And about 2 yards to go.
And a nice play in the backfield by Gerald Glass, the sophomore for Oak Grove. Trip the running back up, trip him up coming out of the backfield, and keep that gain to a minimum. You see right there, Gerald Glass making the hit at the ankles, and keeping Don Robinson from picking up further yardage as the rest of the team came and helped out on the play.
From the 37-yard line on 3rd and 2, the play fake by Hayes, trying to go deep, and it is intercepted. A tremendous interception at about the 10-yard line by Jason Martin. Martin just went up and took it away from the intended receiver as he simply got up higher at the apex of the pass and makes the play, and you'll see it again.
You're going to see Martin just outreaches the receiver for the ball. Martin, playing from a strong safety position, does an outstanding job, and he's got his Oak Grove team back in the saddle now. And, of course, this is what the Oak Grove wants to do the second half. They got the 14-point lead. They want to control the football, and as long as they have the football, Haynesville can't score.
And that's the third turnover for Haynesville in the game thus far, and they simply cannot afford those. The pass, by the way, was intended for Jerry Austin. On first down, 15, 16, maybe the 17-yard line. A pickup of about 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6.
Back to the off-tackle play offensively, testing again that defensive right side of the line. Actually, the Haynesville Tornadoes are doing a good job on the right side of the defensive line. Actually, well, they have been tested as well. We'll see what the Tigers do with this particular play.
Second down, and we'll call it a long 5. Off the play fake, they give to Smith. Smith hit hard, but he gets to about the 23-yard line and appears to have a first down. Don Robinson makes the hit. He looks like he has it to me, and he does. First down. All right, right now we're going to go down to the sideline, and we're going to get an update on an injury from Bob Pavlovich. Bob, tell us what's going on down there, would you?
Kenny checked with both benches, and the coaches say they've got to both have healthy teams out on the field. There was a slight injury in the first half to Larry Tell, the cornerback and fullback for the Haynesville Golden Tornado. There's a slight arm injury. He's got it taped up, and he's back in. Let's get back to action.
On 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line, the dive play across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. A pickup of about 4 yards. And that was Mathis, Jason Mathis, the ball carrier to the 27. It'll be second down and 6 yards to go. Now, we're happy to have you with us on Cox Cable and the cable systems throughout the state that have picked up the feed for this Gatorade Superdome Classic. I'm Ken Trahan, along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman and Pavlovich on the field. 14-0 Tigers of Oak Grove on top. 8:53 to play third quarter. This is Smith, and he is brought down by Jerome Gilmore. Gilmore with a nice play there. And that's a nose tackle's job, not to get moved. And he was right there for the counter. Short game, maybe a yard, and that's all. It'll be third down and 5.
It looked as though if Jerome Gilmore didn't make that play, there was plenty of running room on the left side of that offensive line. And I don't know where the force was on that play, but a lot of green in front of that running back. What a position to be in if you're the Oak Grove Tigers right now. You're 3rd and 5, but if you pick up this first down, you've got the rest of the field to go, needless to say, but you can, again, pick and choose. You can run the ball, you can come up with the pass if you need it.
And it looks like he's got the first down across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. A fine, hard run there. And he has shown us some good running ability here this evening. And we'll see it again.
Right, you're going to see it's just a quarterback draw, or really a quarterback trap with Jason Martin. He fakes one way and then keeps the ball the other way, and he's the leading rusher so far in this ball game for Oak Grove. An outstanding player for just a sophomore.
On first down, they give it to Smith going left. Smith dashes into the secondary and goes out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. A pickup of about 7, possibly 8 yards. Mark it at the 43. It'll be second down and 3. Well, he's got some very good quickness, doesn't he?
Outstanding. That's the best thing about Earl Smith is that it looks like when he runs the sweep, as you see right here, the people in the white jerseys really, it looks like they lose their angles of pursuit because of his quickness. He's an outstanding back, and he's really done a lot of damage to Haynesville tonight.
On the 43-yard line, Martin keeping. Martin has a first down. He's in the Haynesville territory, and he is dragged out of bounds at about the 47-yard line by Larry Tell. But Martin carried Tell for about a 3-yard ride, and Oak Grove has another first down with 7:35 to play third quarter.
Well, it's obvious the second half now, since Oak Grove got possession of the ball, that they're contented to keep the ball on the ground. They have a 14-point lead. 7.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and they're not going to do anything different or anything fancy. They're just going to stay with what they've been doing the first half, and that is running the football right at this Haynesville defense.
From the 42-yard line officially on first down and 10 yards to go. This is Kai Burrell. Burrell to the 40. Inside the 40, close to the 39-yard line. Pickup of 3 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 7. Jason Martin has really handled himself well here this evening.
Kenny, I'm really astounded at a sophomore to come in a championship game with such poise and be a predominant part of the offense. He's not a guy just handing off.
Straight ahead, our football to about the 36-yard line. A pickup of 3. It'll be third down and 3.
Jason Martin with 52 yards in the first half on his own, adding to that total probably well over 60 and maybe into the 70s now. But again, you didn't see the first half. Certainly a quarterback that's willing to move out of that backfield position, to put his head down, pick up the extra yards for this club. Not blazing speed, but a good, strong, big back.
Mathis got 3 on the last play. It is third down and 3 yards to go here. And the quarterback draw again, and this time he looks to be about a yard short. He got it to the 33-yard line. They had to get it to about the 32. It'll be fourth down and less than a yard here. And you know they'll go for it in this situation.
Well, really, they're in a position right now, Ken, where if they would punt the ball and it would go into the end zone and come out to the 20, you only talk about a differential here of about 13 yards. So it's really to Coach Dalrymple and the Tigers' advantage to go here and get this all-important first down.
Fourth down, less than a yard from the 33-yard line. Fans come alive. Martin keeps Martin close. Martin appears to have it as he simply uses that leg drive and his 6'3" frame to get it inside the 32. For what appears to be first down yardage, and it is. First down, Oak Grove. 5:33 to play in the third quarter.
Again, a good surge by the offensive line. They're doing it all day.
Well, you notice that he notices those things, right, Henry?
You know, Kenny, when you have an opportunity to talk about your fellow offensive linemen, you have to do it, not only because you like to do something like that, because they'll let you know if you don't.
That's right.
When you hear the broadcast.
Frankly, they deserve it. Here's Anderson on the pitch. Anderson inside the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Anderson for about 3 yards, wrapped up by T. Don White playing both ways, number 33, along with number 53, Charles Jackson. It'll be second down, and we'll call it 8 yards to go. Second and 8 from the 29. Very fast-moving quarter. We're under 5 minutes to play. 14-0 Tigers.
And this is precisely what Oak Grove has wanted to do in this half.
And now they've stopped the clock. They have called a timeout with 4:52 to play in the quarter. So a timeout from here. We'll take the break with the Tigers on top of the Tours. 14-0. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic. We'll be back right after this.
Cox Cable Jefferson Parish, we're into sports. We carry Sunday night NFL football on ESPN. We cablecast semi-pro and high school football action. And we're very proud to be a sponsor of the 1989 Gatorade Superdome Classic. We encourage the pursuit of excellence on the field and in the classroom. Cox Cable salutes all the student athletes here tonight and throughout Louisiana.
4:52 to play, third quarter. 14-0 Tigers. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Brad Edelman on a 2nd and 8. Martin rolling right, running out of room and driven out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Pursuit from David Harris, number 11, along with 53 Charles Jackson. And a pickup of about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
The only fault I have with what Oak Grove is doing right now is that in the last 5 plays, they've run out of bounds 3 times and called a timeout on the 4th. And if you're in a possession-type game, you don't want to lose these 25 seconds. You want to take the 25 seconds off the clock and be able to go ahead and work the clock a little bit. You're talking about now 25 seconds. You're talking about take 2 more minutes off the clock.
From the 25, the pitch to Burrell, trying to cut it back in, and he stopped. Picks up about a yard, and that's all. Tried to cut back, but the weak side flow was excellent defensively. Jerry Austin with help for Haynesville, and it'll be 4th down and about 2.5 yards to go for a 1st down, and they'll go for it in this situation.
And this is really a big play for Haynesville because they've got to come up with the play here and hopefully turn the ball back over to their offense. Their defense, Brad, has been out here an awful long time.
Precisely.
All right, on 4th down and 3 yards to go from the 24-yard line. Martin sets him down, and he pulls out from center early and has to fall on the football. And Haynesville will get the football one way or the other, and that's a break for the Golden Tornado.
Absolutely, that it really is. That's a big play. Now Haynesville's really got to do something with the football. They've come now to their 2nd possession in the 2nd half. Again, though, they're coming up with really poor field position.
Yeah, that's been plaguing them all game long. But you know, these Tornadoes in the huddle now have to be saying to themselves that we've got to dig a little bit deeper. We have to make it happen for us. As you see the replay here on the 4th down attempt. Again, culminating in a big break for Haynesville. They've got to be telling themselves this is the time in the game where they have to mount a comeback.
Well, they've got to get Shannon Harris into the offense, and they give it to him here, and he runs into somebody, namely number 33, Jason Mathis, at the line of scrimmage. No gain. They have lost a yard. In fact, it'll be 2nd and long.
Henry, nothing doing on the left side of that defensive line for the Oak Grove Tigers, and this is it's what this defense, from their perspective, has to do now. If they can shut Haynesville down in their own territory, again, come up with good field position, they're right back in the same situation that they've enjoyed most of this football game.
That's right. You know, again, they've got to get a couple of 1st downs, get a little confidence here, get something going.
From the 25-yard line, they run the counter play, and Harris is shut down again. A couple of yards, maybe the 28, and Kai Burrell wraps him up. And as we mentioned, leading into the 3rd quarter, Henry, certainly Oak Grove has adjusted. They've really shut down Harris since the early 1st quarter.
Well, they really have. And guys like Jimmy Hill and Scotty Hayes, Kai Burrell, Gerald Glass, Tony Robinson, all those guys really have to be commended. They've done an outstanding job of really controlling the line of scrimmage tonight. And I think that's the difference in the ball game, is that Haynesville has not been able to mount any type of offensive threat at all.
3rd down, 7 yards to go from the 28-yard line. Scotty Hayes wants to throw. He's under pressure. Rolling right. A flag is down. We might have holding. And Hayes will go out of bounds well short of his 1st down. Stepped out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage, in fact, the 28. And again, we'll check the flag, but that's generally where the dreaded hold takes place, Brad.
Takes place, yep. And if that's what it is,
I'm sure they'll decline it in this situation. It'll be 4th down in a punting situation.
I would think so, and that is...
See if we can pick it up there.
Now the offense is declined, 4th down.
I couldn't see the hold precisely. Did you?
Yeah, you can see he had a good hold of his shirt there.
Okay.
Those are the obvious ones.
Well, maybe it's just that I don't see those things.
You never do. So a punting situation for Haynesville as the holding penalty is declined. Don Robinson will kick it away to Earl Smith once again. Well, Robinson's done a great job punting. It's another nice one, but right at Smith, who calls a fair catch at the 39-yard line. And with 2:19 to play in the 3rd quarter, Oak Grove gets it back, leading 14-0.
Well, we're back in the same situation again. You know, you Todd, I feel like a preacher sitting up here talking about the Haynesville offense, but it's been really 3 downs and punt, 3 downs and punt. And there's no way. Their defense is going to tie. Now, let's talk about that. There's no question about that. They're asking their defense to spend a considerable amount of time against an offensive line that I think has performed well for Oak Grove and continually pounded.
On first down, the counter and a big hit on Smith.
And they must have heard me.
Wasn't because, in fact, they stacked up that counter play with pulling offensive tackle and guard very nicely that time.
The big hit.
By number 68, Michael Jackson on that play, sophomore. Watch it here with the replay.
Watch the penetration by Jackson.
Hands it off, and Jackson with a big hit, big league hit. To drop Earl Smith behind the line of scrimmage, and that's precisely what they're going to need from this point on.
Austin, 1 second down and 11. Martin rolling, throwing sideline. Smith catches it up to about midfield and close to a first down. Version of the run and shoot there. And Smith is close to a first down and appears to have it near midfield and does. First down for Oak Grove.
And the replay, and Earl Smith, shoestring catch. Nice grab for him. Takes the ball up the sideline. Unfortunately stumbles. May have been able to pick up a few more yards. But again, a first down situation for Oak Grove.
Martin with his second completion of the game. We've yet to see a pass completion by Haynesville from midfield. Tigers first and 10. In control, leading 14-0 late third quarter. This is Smith. It's a block. He's outside. Smith, 45, another great block. Smith for a first down inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. And he got a couple of terrific blocks there, and one of them came from number 13, Tony Robinson. And I hope we can see that again because it was a pancake. He flattened the guy. Here we go.
Here it is. You're going to see the fullback right there just on a power sweep, and he does a nice job on the corner. Good position by Don Robinson coming over to make the tackle from his safety position.
And again, Earl Smith using that good speed to pick up yards outside against what we have to believe is a tiring Haynesville golden tornado defense.
From the 40-yard line in Haynesville territory, first down. Smith comes wide to the right side. The split backs behind the quarterback, Martin, and they give us to Anderson to about the 38-yard line, where he is wrapped up by number 60, Josh Dishotel, 6 foot, 210-pound senior tackle. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go.
Henry not looking so tired here as the ball is handed off. And number 60 doing an excellent job defeating his block and pulling him back to the ground. So we need the individual plays like that. I'm going to need this team to come together and struggle throughout the latter part of this game, get themselves back into it.
From the 38-yard line, Martin on the keeper, 35, Martin to the 30, another first down, and down to the 26-yard line is Jason Martin for the Oak Grove Tigers, but a flag is down on the play, and this one might come back. The offensive linemen were upset about that one. They were jumping up and down, and indeed, for a reason, holding Oak Grove.
Well, from a Haynesville point of view, they really needed that because, again, they would have been playing a first and 10 with the ball resting inside the 30-yard line, and hopefully here from a Haynesville, again, Haynesville is trying to get Oak Grove in a situation.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
But they want to put them into a passing situation. And that's exactly what you've got to do here. You know, Oak Grove's contented just to run the football here. He'll throw the ball every now and then, but he's not going to throw the ball 3-4 times on a possession.
And as you said, this is what Haynesville needs. Earlier in the game, a couple of close, nearly intercepted passes. Hopefully they'll find themselves in a position like that here.
And they run a reverse and hit in his tracks and driven way back into his own territory is Josh Bradley. Number 71, Charlie Boyd, sniffed that one out all the way and comes up with a big play defensively, a loss of about 8 yards.
Charlie Boyd, you'll see him at the bottom of the screen here, just plays that play terrifically. I don't know if he was blocked there, if somebody missed the block, but he came off the outside of the line of scrimmage, smelled out that running back and brought him down from behind.
And that's the end of the third quarter for the beautiful Louisiana Superdome. The Class A state championship game, and Oak Grove holds a 14-0 lead over Haynesville. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with our fourth and final quarter of action, the Gatorade Superdome Classic, right after this.
You got a thirst. You know what you need. Fluids and minerals fast. Energy for hard-working muscles. Nothing better. Give me some of that Gatorade.
Why did you choose Holy Cross College?
The faculty at Holy Cross is interested in the students as individuals, and I like the caring, comfortable atmosphere.
I'm a business major. Employers look for well-rounded individuals, and Holy Cross believes in educating the heart as well as the mind.
Because I want to teach, I wanted a college with a proven program in education. Our Lady of Holy Cross has been educating teachers since 1916.
Our Lady of Holy Cross College is now accepting applications for the spring semester.
Thank you very much.
I'm Father James Carter. All of this state's educational institutions, public, private, and parochial, are at a critical turning point. They urgently need active involvement of individuals like Eric Hewen and the other owners of Avondale Industries, who are donating hard-earned profits to build world-class community resources.
Avondale employs about 6,000 people, but by the end of the year, we'll need at least another 2,000 men and women. Because of the complexities of shipbuilding today, literate employees are a must. Avondale has on-the-job training, but we must rely on the schools to turn out graduates who can qualify for our programs. That's why all of us who own Avondale are putting our corporate kitty to work for schools like Higgins, which reward academic achievement and emphasize the basics. Reading and writing, for instance.
Avondale is investing in our city's future. Why don't you?
The fourth quarter of the Gatorade Superdome Classic Class A Championship is brought to you by Gatorade, the official thirst quencher of the LHSAA. By Shoetown, headquarters for name brand athletic footwear. By Louisiana Power and Light, LP&L and Energy Company, partners LP&L and you. And Avondale. Avondale is investing in your city's future. Why don't you?
Third down and 26 to go. Oak Grove from their own 44-yard line, and they run Anderson straight ahead close to midfield, and they'll kick it away and try to put Haynesville deep in their own territory. Henry, some updated numbers.
Well, just the third quarter stats so far, Oak Grove has attempted 6 passes, 2 completions for 33 yards, but they've run the ball 52 times in 3 quarters for a total of 233 yards, which is just impressive. For the Haynesville Tornadoes, they're 0 for 4 on the passing game, only 17 carries for 123 yards, so that's a big difference in the ball game, and that's where we stand right now, Ken.
Martin kicks it away, bounces at about the 20. Robinson gets out of the way just in time. And no, he didn't. It hit him. And Oak Grove gets the football at about the 12-yard line. What a critical mistake by Don Robinson.
Well, let's see if we can see that again. You know, again, here's the punt. It's an end-over-end punt. The ball's bouncing there, and you're going to see Robinson in his safety position. He's making really no attempt to field the ball.
Begins through there, and it looks like it hit him in the heel.
Hit him on the heel.
I was about to say it was a smart move on his part, getting as far away from that ball as possible. It looks as though it hit him just in the back of that heel. And right now, if you're a part of the defense of that Oak Grove, of that Haynesville team,
you got a problem.
You got a problem.
Smith giving him more of a problem as he scores from 12 yards out, and the Tigers lead it 20-0.
Just a terribly tough break there, Henry, to give up the ball that close to the end zone. And this strong Oak Grove team that's been taking advantage of their opportunities all day takes advantage of another one here with Earl Smith from about 17 yards out, breaking a tackle there, as you see, getting fine blocking up front, and then sprinting from the 5 into the end zone for the touchdown.
Ainsworth for his third extra point attempt of the game. He's been perfect so far, and this one is good again. 11:09 to play from the Superdome, and the Oak Grove Tigers have one hand on the trophy. They lead it 21-0 over the Golden Tornado of Haynesville. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic. We'll be back right after this.
Popeyes has a holiday package just for you. 10 pieces of Popeye's own chicken with all the trimmings for only $9.99. 10 tasty pieces of chicken, 4 hot buttermilk biscuits, and a big helping of Popeye's savory Cajun rice. After all, 'tis the season to be giving. So treat your family to Popeye's chicken and trimmings for only $9.99. You'll love that chicken from Popeye's. Ho, 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 ho.
Children well, the father's help did slowly go by.
Of all the things you can teach your children, the most important is how to find their own answers.
So just look at them and sigh and know they love you.
.09 to play, 21-0 Tigers on top of Haynesville. Here's the kickoff, bounding short, taken by a short man up to the 40, to the 45, up to 50, and into Oak Grove territory on a fine return. It's number 11, David Harris, who fielded the short bounder and gives Haynesville good field position at the 49. 12-yard touchdown run by Smith following the turnover, which was really a big play in the game. We'll talk about that more in just a moment as Haynesville goes on offense here in the Oak Grove 49-yard line, needing to get something done very quickly with 11:03 to play. Scotty Hayes straight ahead to Shannon Harris, 46-yard line, a pickup of about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go.
Finally, some good field position for this Haynesville team, though. Don't have the end zone breathing down their backs. Have a little room to work in there. Let's see what they can do now on second down and about 7 yards to go.
Well, I think Oak Grove's going to be content to let them run the dive all night long.
From the 46, second and 7, option play. Hayes keeping, pitching. Harris is hit. Harris fights his way forward to about the 41-yard line. Took quite a hit from Dean Jackson and managed to bolt ahead before Kai Burrell and help finally bring him down. Getting back to that turnover, it certainly looked from up here as we watched the replay on the option, and a good hit and nice effort by Harris, that the ball did clip the player's heel.
Oh, it was a good call, and our cameras were right there to show us the tip. And of course, it's a good alert job by the defense of Oak Grove to recover that football right away.
On 3rd and 2 from the 41-yard line, hit in the backfield and dropped as Harris. No gain, it'll be 4th down. Jimmy Hill, 32, the outstanding defensive tackle at 5'9", 228. The senior makes the stop.
Well, that's really been the story all night long. Every time Haynesville has gotten in a third down possession situation, Oak Grove has continually come up with the big play all night long defensively.
As you see the replay here, number 60, Josh Dissatel with a nice block on the outside, but nothing doing inside.
Gerald Glass on the stop as well, and on 4th down, they shut him down cold. Nowhere to go, and the ball goes over on downs. Trey Stevenson, number 80, at 6'3" and 185 pounds, in on the stop for Oak Grove, and the Tigers have done it again, and they're in total control with 9:18 to play, leading 21-0.
That's been the name of the game so far, is how well, Oak Grove has just defensed the Haynesville offense, an offense that has come in here that has scored quite a few points.
From the 41 on 1st down, this is Smith. Smith with that quickness again. Boy, he takes a big lick from Robinson as he crosses the 45 to about the 46-yard line. But the little guy is still on his feet. Pick up of 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Darrell Smith is a tough little guy. I tell you, he's only 135, but he runs a lot bigger than 135 pounds. He really gets behind and plays well behind his pads. He really does. And he runs the sweep off the wing tee as well as anybody.
One thing he does, and he certainly can do with his size, is hide behind his blockers very well. It's hard to find out there. 2nd and 5 from the 46-yard line. Straight ahead, this is Burrell to about midfield. Guy Burrell for 4. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Well, I think the Tigers are contented just to keep the ball on the ground. They want to just keep that clock rolling now with a 21-0 lead. They certainly feel like the clock is now becoming an ally of the Oak Grove Tigers, the District 3 champions, and if things go the way they're going right now, they're going to be the Louisiana High School Class A state champions.
On 3rd down and 1 from midfield, Smith has a 1st down and more. Smith will go all the way. Earl Smith, 50 yards and a touchdown, and it's 27-0 Tigers.
And the Oak Grove fans having a good time in the Superdome. Came a long way to see their team win this game tonight. And they're doing so in fine fashion. That running game, pounding it out on the field, and ended up breaking a lot of long plays here at the end of the game. Again, a fine run. Nobody, after you see he breaks 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, nobody there to make the play. Just getting past Don Robinson, the safety, and Earl Smith is off to a good-sized gain and a touchdown for Oak Grove.
Haynes running interference for him, and now Ainsworth for the extra point, and he's got it again. 4 for 4 in the evening. 7:49 to play from the Superdome. The Class A state championship looks like it's going to go to the Tigers of Oak Grove. They lead the Golden Tornado of Haynesville 28-0. This is the Gatorade Superdome Classic. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more of our 4th quarter action right after this.
Children well, the fathers have did slowly go by.
Of all the things you can teach your children, the most important is how to find their own answers.
So just look at them and sigh and know they love you.
Once, there were a few proud men of adventure, men of courage, men who knew the meaning of honor. There still are the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
7:49 to play. Oak Grove 28, Haynesville nothing. Tigers to kick it off to the Golden Tornado. Whitaker hits it on the ground again, and once again it's fielded by the short man, and that's David Harris once again to the 46-yard line. Good field position, but dire straits for the Golden Tornado. And Brad, it's been a very impressive game from Earl Smith.
Outstanding game for Earl Smith, taking in his 3rd touchdown run. The last play of the prior drive for Oak Grove, adding again another minute 31 seconds to their possession time and 4 plays, covering 59 yards.
On the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 for Haynesville. Scotty Hayes, the quarterback. Quick drop, under pressure, hit and drop, sack. And that's 14, Scott Haynes from his left defensive end position, the two-way performer, sacking Hayes, and it'll be 2nd down and 14 yards to go.
Now, really, Haynesville is really in a tough position because Oak Grove now knows with a 28-point lead. There you see right now an outstanding job by number 14, Scott Haynes, that they're just going to tee off the defensive lineman. They're coming now.
Straight drop. Hayes over the middle, completes a pass. This is Kimball to the 48-yard line. Back to the original line of scrimmage, +1. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
You know, Henry, as an offensive lineman, as a member of the offensive unit overall, and I've been in plenty of games like this, you hate to be in a position where you have to throw the ball as you see here, and you know all that defense, as you mentioned, has to do is pin back their ears and come. That is one of the toughest things in the world to do, especially when you're down by 28 points. And you've got to catch up a lot of yardage and a lot of points in a small amount of time.
On 3rd and long. Hayes running out of the pocket, hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped. Ty Burrell was there along with number 80, Trey Stevenson. And it'll be 4th down and 8 yards to go. The Haynesville Golden Tornado.
It's really a terrible position you're going to see right here. Tremendous amount of pressure put on the quarterback, Haynes. And he just breaks containment there, tries to get a scramble, and there's just nowhere to go.
Looks as though he had time to throw, step back in the pocket, but couldn't find a receiver open initially. Step back up, and then the pocket collapsed back underneath and took him down.
Now Don Robinson will punt once again to Earl Smith. It's another nice punt. Drive Smith way back to his 13-yard line. Think of the 14 where he calls for the fair catch and takes it. And with 5:41 to play, Oak Grove leading by 28 in total control, and they get the football back.
Absolutely. And they've just dominated, Oak Grove has just dominated this football game on the ground. They've had 56 rushing plays so far in this ball game for a total of 286 yards. And of course, it's just a tremendous effort by guys like Jason Martin and Jason Mathis and Kai Burrell, and of course, Earl Smith. Each one of us, Smith has carried the ball 10 times tonight for 107 yards, and he has really been the workhorse for this Tiger offense.
On 1st down, Jason Martin giving to Anderson. Anderson across the 15 to about the 17-yard line, picking up 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And the clock continues to tick as T. Don White makes the stop.
And again, Henry, an impressive offensive job by the young offensive line for Oak Grove, as you see here, controlling the line of scrimmage again, giving the backs some room to run. The backs making some yards on their own during this game, but an outstanding job up front overall.
2nd and 7 from the 17-yard line. They run Anderson again. Anderson for maybe a yard, and that's all. The clock will continue to run. This time, David Harris from his inside linebacking spot. Just a sophomore makes the stop.
You know, when you look at both of these teams started the season with several key players missing from last year's squad. Both teams did not come in, I would say, as an experienced-laden football teams. Both Haynesville and Oak Grove lost a lot through graduation last year.
3rd down and 6 from the 18-yard line. They give to Smith running right this time, and he's hitting the backfield and dropped. This time the penetration is there, and a nice play made defensively. And that play made by number 12, Jerry Austin, and it'll be 4th down in a punting situation. 4th down and 11 yards to go. Jason Martin will punt standing near his own goal line. Yeah, as Henry alluded to, Haynesville has only 3 starters returning from a year ago. Bad snap, and he barely gets it off. Nice kick nonetheless, will bounce, and this time Robinson will get out of the way wisely. And it'll be down at the 46-yard line with 3:48 to play. You ain't seen nothing yet, have you? And you really haven't. We've got 3 great championship games yet to come.
That's correct.
AA game, Jonesboro Hodge against Welsh. AAA game with Crowley against Wassman. And the concluding game would be the Quad A state championship game featuring the Ouachita bunch against Brother Martin, and that'll be a great conclusion, I am sure, to this Superdome Classic. 3:48 to play in this state championship game, Class A title game. And Haynesville pretty much out of it, losing 28-0 with the football from their own 46-yard line. Hayes off the play fake, throwing over the middle. Nice throw to Robinson. He's loose. He's at the 30. He may go all the way. 15, and knocked out of bounds at about the 9-yard line.
Henry, a good-looking play. A real good-looking play by this club. a little late in the game to start being able to put the ball in the air like that. Fine play.
I just saw a sign over on the Haynesville side that said, "Where was that play?" No, great execution both by Hayes and by number 4, Don Robinson. Robinson showed good speed, got outside there.
Well, he's a top-notch athlete. He's considered a blue-chip prospect, and you can see why. Does a lot of things for this team. First down, goal to go from the 9-yard line. Trying to get outside as Kimball, and he can't get there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by a host of black jerseys. Kai Burrell led the charge, along with help from Earl Smith. And 53, Frank Williams, and it'll be second down and goal to go. No gain on the play.
Well, I thought that was an unusual formation. It was kind of like a crooked power eye or a crooked wishbone in which it was off-centered. The fullback was not directly behind the center, but more or less in the guard-tackle gap. And they ran just the off-tackle power play on kind of a wham or isolation play inside.
Second down, goal to go from the 9-yard line. From the end zone, we look at Scotty Hayes. Low crouch under center, and the pitch trying to get outside, and there's nothing there for Kimball. Hit in the backfield, dropped for a loss. It's Dean Jackson, the quarterback, sophomore, coming up to make the stop. And an injured Oak Grove player on the field. Looks like Jason Mathis, who's been down a couple of times. There's Mathis right there. That's where he got hurt.
And with the help of Mathis, that's another fine play by Dean Jackson. 2 in a row there to really keep this offense off balance. Again, the replay, and you can see the injury.
Hard to tell exactly what it was, but certainly this turf is quite hard, Brad. It's not as bad, perhaps, as when you first got here. The new turf is a little bit better as we see Mathis slip off, but it's still quite hard, isn't it?
Denny, this surface, the older I get, and the longer one plays on this type of surface, the more damage you become to the body. Fortunately, these young men don't play on it that often. But you go down there, and there's not much under that green surface.
Third and goal from the 13-yard line, and they fumble the football, scramble with it, and who's got it? Oak Grove. 32, Jimmy Hill comes up with a football, and that has to be the final nail in the coffin of the Golden Tornado.
And that's a shame, Kenny. I think it would have been encouraging. It would have been fun, at least, for these guys to put the ball in the end zone one time this evening against a very strong, persistent defense. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as though now they'll have that opportunity unless the Haynesville defense can stop Oak Grove up and maybe come back for one more shot, a pride shot, if you will, of getting the ball back in the end zone.
On the 19-yard line, Oak Grove will simply work on the clock here with 2:31 to play. Martin surveying the defense and giving it off straight ahead for about 2. Anderson once again to the 21-yard line. It'll be second down and 8 yards to go. Clock ticking with 2:13 and counting. Guys, I don't think we'll have a whole lot of trouble selecting a most valuable player for this game. He comes wide to the left here on second down and 8. And a look from behind the offense of Jason Martin as he gives it straight ahead and a big hole for Burrell. First down across the 30 to the 31-yard line as they pound it inside and continue to roll up the offensive rushing yardage, and Don Robinson has to make another tackle.
Anytime, Kenny, you can repeatedly get to that defensive backfield when you're running the ball, you know you're doing something right. One more block there and would have had even a few more yards, maybe gone all the way.
Robinson holding on there, as you can see. 1:35 and counting. This one's just a couple of plays away from being over. And they give it to Burrell. He finds more running room and runs over tacklers to about the 40, close to another first down, and the clock continues to tick with 1:20 to play.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a new Class A state champion, and that's going to be the Oak Grove Tigers. An outstanding, to me, an outstanding job by the whole team. But, you know, when I looked at this football team prior to the game and saw 3 freshmen in the offensive line, I just could not believe that they were going to control the line of scrimmage like they did. There was see the handoff, just a counter play here to Earl Smith on a second down, and he's going to get the first down now. So Oak Grove contented to run the ball out, 49 seconds.
The Tornado with 3 timeouts left. Don't think they'll have any reason to use them. And as you said, again, just a very strong game, a very impressive game by the Oak Grove offense, who has literally pounded the ball out on offense, picking up, I've got to believe, 300-plus yards at this point.
Absolutely, Brad. First down, just a straight handoff here now. Number 44, Reggie Anderson. And you can tell now the Oak Grove fans, as well as the players, they can smell it, Brad. They're going to be the Class A state champions, Louisiana high school football, right here in the Superdome.
7 seconds and counting. Don't think they're going to get another playoff. Just an outstanding job by the Oak Grove club, and as I mentioned to you before, Henry, would have liked to have been able to say a lot more about the Haynesville club. We did talk about them. They had a tough time all night defensing that powerful Oak Grove defense, and then again the Oak Grove defense doing a job on Haynesville. They had opportunities early in the game, but just were not able to take advantage of them. It's also impressive from Oak Grove's standpoint that they turned the ball over 5 times and still mounted the offensive attack that they did.
Absolutely, Brad. I think it was a classic example of crunch football. Both teams came in here. Neither team wanted to throw the football. That was obvious for tonight. But Oak Grove certainly had the best of it. To me, when you look at the people that Oak Grove has coming back, they could possibly dominate here for several years. So right now, the final score is, in the Class A finals, is the Oak Grove Tigers 28, the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes 0, and we'll be back. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be back with Kent Trahan on the field.
Who was the first flyer to solo around the world? Wally Post. Who made the first computer? It was Remington Rand. Who is the first lady of beauty colleges? Jocelyn Daspit. Isn't it funny that the first names in success aren't always the names we think of first? Jocelyn Daspit has graduated thousands of successful cosmetologists since 1959. If you're thinking of a career in cosmetology, the first and only name is Jocelyn Daspit Beauty Colleges.
Who's my favorite sports guy? That's easy. It's my dad. He gets up early every morning to run. He works hard at winning all day long. But I miss him a lot. But it all pays off on Saturday night.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Hey, Dad. Good game.
Thanks. I really missed you.
Dad, are we still going to Piccadilly tomorrow?
Of course, son.
You're looking at a scene of celebration here at the Louisiana Superdome, where the Oak Grove Tigers are victorious. The score 28-0 over the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. Their team coming off the field right now. The trophy presentation is about to get started in the center of the field. We'll be going out there for that presentation shortly. A fine football game by Oak Grove. They broke out early, scoring touchdowns and a number of points. Let's give credit to number 12, Earl Smith, who scored 3 of those touchdowns. There was also an injury to one of the players, number 33, Jason Mathis. They say he's doing fine, and it was an injury that he had suffered last year that was just aggravated again on a play where he made a diving tackle. As we look out on the field right now, the coaches and players are lining up, getting ready to be presented with the large trophy that is going to be theirs. I know it's been a long year for Oak Grove. They weren't expected to come this far. They were not even in the top 10 ratings for the rankings for the Class A league. The fans are still here from Oak Grove, pounding on the sides of the stands as their players move by. All the players huddled around. A very happy occasion for the Oak Grove Tigers. The Haynesville Golden Tornadoes put up a valiant effort for the game, but it just looked like the Oak Grove Tigers took it to them tonight, dominating them in every aspect of play, from special teams right on down to the simple control of the line of scrimmage. There's nothing like winning a state championship in the Superdome. Everybody starts dancing and having a good time. They're getting ready to bring out the coach of the Oak Grove Tigers, Coach Vic Dalrymple. It has to be a great evening for him and for his team. It's taken quite a few games for him to get here. He lost the first 3 of 4 games. Didn't look good at the beginning of the season, but his district play was able to bring him up to snuff, finish with 11-3. The most important thing is tonight's victory over the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. Joining me right now is Kenny Trahan. And Kenny, fine game by Oak Grove tonight.
Well, they were in total control. You know, early in the first quarter, Haynesville was able to establish Shannon Harris. He gained about 90 yards in the first quarter and a half, but then he gained only about 20 yards the rest of the game, as it was a great defensive effort by Oak Grove. And on the other side of the football, the Oak Grove offensive line really took control in the second quarter and never let up.
Yeah, and Earl Smith, undoubtedly, with 3 touchdowns, is one of the strong contenders for player of the game.
I don't think there's any question he would be the player of the game. A terrific athlete at only 5'6", 135 pounds. You know, he's very quick. We knew that coming in. But perhaps I was most impressed with the play in the first half where he simply ran over the defender despite his size. He's quite a player.
Right now, as we see, they're presenting the runner-up trophy to the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes. A good effort tonight. A very good effort. And right now, they're getting Coach Vic Dalrymple ready to head out onto the field to accept the trophy for the Oak Grove Tigers.
Well, you can hear the reaction in the background. These folks have come a long way to enjoy this. They've braved some very tough weather in getting here, I might add, as well. And this is something to be savored. You know, Oak Grove made it here in 1986. They were soundly beaten in the championship game. This was redemption for them. Haynesville, well, they've been here 5 times in the 80s. They've now won twice and lost 3 games. But certainly a good performance and a great year for Alton Red Franklin's team as well.
Okay, we'll be back with more post-game comments here from the Louisiana Superdome, where the Oak Grove Tigers have done it to the Haynesville Golden Tornadoes 28-0. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
It's fueled the victories of Super Bowl champions and Sandlot superstars. It's as welcome on a hot cinder track as a cold sheet of ice. It is unsurpassed at supplying fluids, minerals, and energy. It goes beyond refreshment. It produces results. It's everywhere athletes compete. It's sports. It's Gatorade.
The Oak Grove Tigers, the champions, Class Single A, as they defeat Haynesville 28-0 in convincing fashion. With me now, the victorious head coach, Coach Dalrymple. I know you have to be thrilled about what transpired here this evening. Your kids took total control after about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. You dominated both sides of the line of scrimmage and never let up.
I can't say enough about the kids. They were so tight at the beginning, it made me nervous a little bit because during the warm-up period, we couldn't even hardly walk. We were so banjo tight. But they loosened up after a while and played the game like they should have played it.
Nick, I know you had to be concerned early when Haynesville was able to establish their fine back Shannon Harris in the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game, but you really made some adjustments and shut him down.
We knew he was going to be a problem going in, and we had 2 little things we were going to try to do. And the first one didn't work real good, and the second one was a little soft, so we kind of mixed them up and ended up getting the job done.
Well, you got a fine sophomore quarterback who plays defense and made a great play defensively as well, and Jason Martin, he was named the MVP. I know you're very proud of that young man's poise under these circumstances.
I'm going to tell you, the guy is exciting as the devil to watch when he gets ready to run the football. He's got long limbs and he looks like he can't move fast, but when you put the ball under his arm, he can get it done.
Speaking of performances, Earl Smith, he was nothing short of sensational here this evening.
Can't say enough about Earl. First time out, never played before, set the woods on fire. I'll probably remember that guy for a while.
Coach, you guys were here in '86. That was a forgetful trip. This one is one I'm sure you'll remember for a long, long time.
we like this one a little better. I think this will make us, even the guys back in '86, I think they'll even feel better about this.
Well, Coach, we're looking at Earl Smith and the game-clinching 50-yard touchdown run right here, and I know that had to give you a great feeling of adulation at this point when you know no one was going to catch him.
I'm not going to lie, I got a pretty good burst down of it, but at the same time I was gritting my teeth. These kind of deals make you pay attention right up to the end, but that did give us a little slack where we could breathe finally.
Yeah, it came at a good time for you. Coach, state champions, Class A, congratulations on a terrific effort. Keep up the good work and enjoy the rest of your stay in New Orleans.
Thank you very much.
Coach Vic Dalrymple. And joining me right now is the player that was named as the MVP here this evening, the sophomore quarterback and defensive back, Jason Martin. And Jason, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a great win. As a sophomore, it was a great win. I wanted to contribute as much as I could to the team this year. And that's what I went out and did today, to do what I had to do. I knew I was going to have to do a lot, but I knew everybody else had to be part of the whole team, going to have to do a part of it. And we came together and did what we had to do.
You came out early. You missed on a couple of passes early. Was there a bit of nervousness there?
Yeah, a little bit. When you start off the game, I was a little nervous, but once I get into it, I calm down and just try to do my thing.
You had a lot of help. We talked about Smith and his great performance, but realistically, the job was done up front. Your offensive line and your defensive line did a fantastic job.
Yes, offensive line and our defensive line hadn't got very much credit this year, and I wanted to credit them with a great performance today. They pulled us through all year. The two front men, Gerald Glass and Jimmy Hill, did an excellent job. Scott Haynes and Tony Robinson, and especially two linebackers, our two seniors, Kai Burrow and Jason Mathis.
Jason, you've won a state championship. You just got named MVP, and you're just a sophomore. It doesn't get any better than this, does it?
It doesn't. I'm very surprised I got it myself. I didn't really think I'd get anything like this at this age, but I want to thank everybody. Thank them for giving this MVP, and it feels great to be an MVP. I never thought it would.
We're going to let you go enjoy it now. Jason, congratulations once again on a super effort, and best of luck throughout the rest of your high school career.
Thank you.
Jason Martin, our MVP here this evening for the victorious Oak Grove Tigers, who win it 28-0. Upstairs in the booth, Henry Rando and Brad Edelman. And Henry, this was a situation where after Oak Grove in the early going had some trouble containing Shannon Harris, their defense really shut them down, and they took total control of the line of scrimmage, didn't they?
Well, no question about it, Kenny. Just to prove something out about this is that Oak Grove broke a Superdome Classic record, and that was that they had 64 carries in a ball game and 320 yards rushing, and they broke a record held by, guess who? The Haynesville Tornadoes. So it was an outstanding job by Oak Grove. They controlled both the offensive and the defensive lines, Brad. I mean, to me, it was just unbelievable how three freshmen can get in there. I hate to have to play this club, next couple of years down the road, because they're going to be a lot tougher.
Oh, I agree with you entirely. We talked about that before the game, and we were concerned about We talked about that before the game. We were both concerned about the relative inexperience in that offensive line, but man, I tell you, they pulled through. As the quarterback said after the game, they pulled through the entire the entire year for the club, and it was great to see them perform as well as they did today.
Well, Kenny, let's go. We're going to go back to Kenny and wrap it up. Again, the final score tonight was a 28-0 win by the Oak Grove Tigers. Kenny, take it away on the field.
All right, thank you, Henry. Thank you, Brad Edelman. Well, the Tigers have won at 28-0. Our first state champion has been named here in the single-A championship game in the Gatorade Superdome Classic for 1989. We've got much more to come. The double-A state championship game, Jonesboro Hodge against Welsh, and a couple of other games coming up as well in AAA and Quad A. It's been a lot of fun. The Tigers are victorious 28-0. For Henry Rando, for Brad Edelman, for Bob Pavlovich, and our entire Cox Cable crew, this is Ken Trahan from the floor of the Louisiana Superdome, bidding you a pleasant good evening. So long for just a while. Oak Grove, the champions, 28-0 over Haynesville.